You know I don't. Will, we have this discussion every time you come on. Smoke all of the marijuana you want. I don't care. You're not, unless Travis comes out and tells you, "Hey, Will, don't do that," and then also tells me to make sure Will doesn't do that. We don't have a problem.
I respect the shit out of that, but I'm always gonna ask.
I know you are.
I've got lots of good notes, and it's not all in the TNA NWA shit that nobody else talks about. Be a viable member of the community.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll edit it. I realized Vince didn't send me the thumbnail thing for today.
Oh.
And I don't have, I normally have, but I don't, for whatever reason, today have random Instagram pics saved on my phone. So I had to grab one real quick. That'll do.
That'll do.
We are live.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Kitty Rustling at the...
Thanks, Will.
I am distracted. I apologize.
That's all right.
No, it was very good.
We're just vibing.
It's fine. Like, I get it. Someone has to acknowledge me in some way, shape, or form, or I cease to exist.
It's like
not cease to exist.
It's like Tinkerbell.
Exactly like Tinkerbell.
When people stop believing, Katie just disappears.
That temperamental little bitch. If that ain't me. Getting pissed off at Wendy because she's trying to take her man's. Me. Her man's who isn't her man's, but she thinks is her man's. Delusional. Me. Been there. Done that. Many a time.
Where did you come from?
Where did you go?
Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah. Good job, everybody.
Oh, hold on a second.
I'm really on some shit today. I can't even really talk.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not like this is a podcast where people are tuning in to hear us talk about things anyway.
What? No way.
They're just here to see my sexy guns.
Sexy
and
guns?
Your shoulders, which you have put away. So, like,
it's winter time.
Get the shoulders out.
14 degrees outside.
I know. It's colder here. It's like 2 out.
I'm not gonna have my shoulders out when it's 14 degrees, and I'm sick.
You're inside. It's not 14 in the house.
It fucking feels like it sometimes. Fucking bitch has been struggling this week. Allison sent Dickosaurus Rexes.
It's 8 degrees, right?
Don't you have heat? See?
Not really in my room because where my room is located, and it just doesn't work in my favor. I have like a portable heater, but it's a whole thing. It's still cold. Just let me live. I don't want to show shoulders one show. The world will still spin. I promise.
Will it though?
Honest, at this point, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Okay, Batista, calm down.
I was about to say, like, baby Brock Lesnar over here flexing on us. Damn.
Baby Brock.
You gonna hit me with the diverticulitis and put me through a table?
Jesus.
I'll hit you with
Christ.
something that starts with a D.
Hey.
I'm not afraid of that. Are you drinking Coke tonight?
Don't worry, Will.
No. No. That's how you know we're on the same page. Look. save wavelength. It's like, as Katie drinks her plutonium.
It's Mountain Dew, but okay.
Plutonium was
So
the first
Kate-
neon yellow thing.
Kate had to get her rings resized, so she went out today. And while she was out, I was like, "Hey, can you stop and grab some pop? Because I'm out." Like the mini fridge has 2 cans of Coke and a can of Dr. Pepper, which is not going to get me through tonight and tomorrow. She's like, "Yeah," and then she shows up with 2 bottles of Dr. Pepper, 2 bottles of Mountain Dew, and 3 bottles of Coke Zero, all zero. But she's like, "I couldn't find a case, so I got these for you." And I'm like, "You're the best fucking wife ever."
An assortment of sodas.
Is that dragon piss?
It's literally
it could be
Mountain
dragon piss.
Dew.
It could be.
I don't fucking
Listen, to be fair,
understand the hate right now.
dragons are mythical creatures, and I feel like a mythical creature would piss Mountain Dew.
I don't like this conversation. I don't know why the fuck everybody's saying
Dragons and
Mountain
unicorns piss Mountain Dew. That's where they get it
Dew.
from.
Not at all. The fuck?
100%.
No. What is even happening?
A lot of things are happening. And Snipes will forever call Mountain Dew Dragon's Piss.
Well, there you go. This is Matt's fault now.
It's always
Dragon
Matt's
piss.
fault. What's
It's
new?
always Matt's fault.
Think it's time to start the intro?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2.
No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Mad Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening. We are, unless Vince does show up within the next 9 minutes, like he said he might, currently tied 2-2 in the Pornhub Poppy race. It is Katie, host of the She League Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd and Storytime with Miss Katie Kinzy, baby.
Hey.
And the purveyor of botch spots and chair shots, host of, let's see, Nerdy News at 420, botch spots and chair shots. He also kind of runs, he's like assistant manager to Allison with Rivet City Radio, but we'll give him, owner of Rivet City Radio. And he's a chef by trade and a mark by choice, and one half of the DP Bros, even though we're both drinking Coke tonight.
We're both drinking Coke tonight.
The Will Gray.
Hola, Mateo. Katie, it's good to see you, dear. I hope you guys are doing well.
Well,
Katie's not having a good day with her Mountain Dew, but Snipey Snipe says he drinks Dragon Piss too. And I do too. So
I don't.
However, I noticed when, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but I was like, oh shit, I matched the logo tonight, like the Smackin It Raw logo, because we got that black background with the Chicago flag. Now I got to see if maybe I can get Vince to put the CM Punk fist somewhere, like above the skyline or something in the back, like the moon. I don't know. But
Yeah.
we're all kind of matching. It looks like Will has a blue shirt on under his black hoodie.
I've got my purple Macho Man shirt on.
Oh,
Okay.
Katie's got a little bit of blue hoodie on. I'm black and blue and red as always. Allison loves Dragon Piss as well.
You need to chill with all this.
Chill. It's like you don't know who you're talking to.
It's like I
have no
don't
chill.
fucking know who I am.
Yeah, I have no chill. How you guys been? Everyone good?
Good.
I'm alive.
You're alive, yeah. Katie's sick. I can only hear out of one ear because of the sinus pressure. Will is, I mean, he
I'm
survived
Will.
cancer. Cold ain't shit.
Oh no, I'm in single digits. It's 8 degrees right now outside of Nashville. We still have snow for the first time in, I mean, it's been a long time since we've had snow that stayed around this long. Hi, Shadow.
So look at these beautiful ladies. Look at these
I
beautiful
mean, you
ladies.
gotta do the thing with the titties. Come on now.
Well, you know, that's what they're here for. Just be happy I don't have them out.
Yeah.
So I posted some things on TikTok today, and Katie was asking me about them. One of them, we'll get into a little more. The whole like the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, which is my front runner for title for tonight. We'll talk about later. But I told Katie I'd save the story for the podcast. So randomly earlier today, I decided to teach Zoe rock, paper, scissors. And she has not quite got the concept, but she really likes the idea of going rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and also adding things to that. So like for a while it was rock, paper, scissors, milk. And I was like, what does milk beat? And she goes, chocolate. And I'm like, okay, what does chocolate milk beat? And she goes, strawberry. And I'm like, well, that's a fair assessment.
That's
I can't
factual.
argue with that. I didn't know those things were part of it. And look at that. I think he heard me say that it was a tie game, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm not going to let that happen. So now I got to edit this.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, actually, I was watching the stream while I was getting set up. I was trying to set up my actual Wi-Fi to get it like a LAN cable connected. So if I get choppy connection, I might leave and try a different room in the house. But this is what will be my soon-to-be office. Like
as long as
studio.
you're here for the majority of the episode, you'll get credit. If you miss the majority of the episode, I'm not crediting you 3 appearances.
There's no race. There's no race that's been
Who fucking
sanctioned,
thinks?
by the way.
That
Both
sounds
of
an
Let's take a-
awful lot like
Well, hold on.
something
All
somebody
4 of
would
us are
say.
here. Let's take a vote. Who wants a 2024 race? Say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'm not. There's no race. There's no sanctioned race.
That's 75% of Smackin It Raw, though.
It really is.
Yeah,
yes,
no.
rock, paper, scissors,
As
lizard, Spock.
nice.
So anyway, as I was teaching her rock, paper, scissors, and paper, rock, scissors, she really liked scissors. It was her favorite one. And then that led to the acclaimed Scissor Me. And I just so happened, because like me and her have been two sweeting for a while now. Like I taught her that she was probably a year and a half when I was trying to get her to work her fingers, and she's mostly gotten it at this point. So I was like, all right, now I've got 2 wrestling things. I'll record it. I'll throw it up on TikTok. And as soon as Kate saw me do it, she just started freaking out. That is not appropriate. What are you doing? What are you teaching her? Blah, blah. So it was a good time. You should go check it out at Smackin It Raw.
I saw the TikTok of her wanting to watch Children of the Corn. Either
And
that
it's-
or Dexter.
Yeah, corn of the children of the corn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corn of the
Which-
Corn sounds better.
I was just looking at stuff on Vudu and it was up, and she walked up and she goes, I want to watch this. And I'm like, what's that? And she goes, I don't know. What is it? And I said, it's Children of the Corn. And she goes, I want to watch Children of the Corn. I'm like, hold on. I'm going to record this for TikTok. I need you to say that again. And then she goes, Corn of the Children. I'm like, Children of the Children or Children of the Corn? She goes, Children of the Corn. Shadow's 4-year-old walks around saying, scissor me daddy ass, and scissors her brother and me. See, it's not inappropriate if Shadow does it, right? Shadow would never do anything inappropriate.
I think it's appropriate.
He's Canadian. They're the most appropriate people in the world. That's what I've always been told.
Also
Okay.
true.
Okay. Sure.
With all that said, I want to thank everyone who's joining us live, whether you are joining us at youtube.com/creationworld, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Will, what does that do?
It boosts the algorithm and it helps find new listeners.
I'm sorry, I'm deaf in one ear. Katie, what does that do?
Boost the algorithm, helps find new listeners.
Vince, please don't fuck this up. What does it do?
Boost the algorithm and help find new listeners.
That is all correct. You guys are fantastic. And this is a Katie exclusive. What am I?
A whore.
For your likes, for your comments, for your views, for your listens, for your motherfucking entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. I am a whore. So please do all of those things. Comment, like, subscribe, boost that algorithm so more people can enjoy me. Share me with your father, your mother, your sister, your wife, your husband, your best friend, your worst enemy, your children above the age of 18, because this is an 18 and over podcast. Trust me.
Excellent.
Everyone that you love, if you love me, should also love me. So let them experience me the way that you do, because you know you want to share me. I love being shared. Just don't tell my wife. With all of that being said, I also want to see you flick that bean. Hit that notification bell up top. Get notified every time we go live, whether it's Monday through Friday for the Creation Conversation, every Saturday at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern for Smackin It Raw, and every other Sunday, including tomorrow night when we are doing Getting Offed. And Katie and I, and maybe Will, you coming?
It's the Kane movie, See No Evil, right? Not See
That's
No
correct.
Yeah, See No
Yes.
Evil, yes.
So me and Katie are going to talk about Will's governor in a horror movie, or Will's mayor in a horror movie, or two.
How come I didn't get an invite for this?
Have you seen both See No Evil and See No Evil 2?
Not the second one, only the first.
Okay. Also, you've repeatedly told me you don't watch horror movies, so you don't ever get invites to horror stuff.
But Kane's in my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time, and I actually watched See No Evil.
Bro, and you have time to watch See No Evil 2 before 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern tomorrow. You are more than welcome to join us, Vince.
I'll
Make
join
your
in.
Getting Off debut.
Not my debut.
Have you been on Getting Off before?
Yeah, the Saw with Will and Justin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, that's correct. I forgot about that.
Listen, those episodes are a fucking dream. I don't know.
Also, I was there for the first porn watch along.
those are
weren't there.
different.
That was different. Those
Those are
aren't the
different
same.
things. Different.
Those watch-alongs are like fever dreams.
Those watch-alongs are fucking ridiculous.
Well, since we're talking about them, if you guys want to check out the watch-alongs, pornhub.com/model/creation world, where you can find most of our content there that you're already watching, whether it's live or pre-taped, but also 2 exclusive watch-alongs, the Texas Dildo Masquerade and Evil Head, both of which are 2 of our top most viewed videos on Pornhub. It is The Rack, it is Katie, it is Will, and Just, and I guess Vince was there for a little bit at one point, if I remember correctly, at the end. All sitting down, Mystery Science Theater 3000ing porn parodies to horror movies. It is a fucking blast. If you have not checked it out, go have a laugh and bust a nut, because that's the whole goal of what I do in podcasting, is to make you laugh and make you come. So please go do both. You guys can also check us out at twitch.tv/creationworld, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have Prime Gaming. If you have Prime Gaming, you get a free sub every month on Twitch. All you have to do is link your Twitch account to your Prime Gaming account, and that's done on your computer. And then on your computer, you also get that free sub. You use it, and you give it to us, and you support us. And if you don't want to give it to us, you give it to Katie, and you support Katie, who's been accepting subs since 2005. But this is just officially online. And if not Katie, give it to Will over at Rivet City Radio, because Will's got nerdy news at 420. Will's got botch spots and chair shots. We've got Botch Spots After Dark. We've got stuff from Off the Top Media. We've got the Boom. We've got so much stuff for you to subscribe and go enjoy over at Rivet City Radio, as well as every Thursday, Boss Bitch Trivia. Go check them out. They deserve your sub. I deserve your sub. Katie loves subs. They're her favorite thing in the whole world. And we're not talking Subway. So give them to any one of us and support your favorite content creators. It costs you absolutely nothing. You're already paying for that Prime subscription. There's also a shit ton of comments coming in.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Too many.
18 plus podcast. I'm 37. I don't know if I should be watching this. You're fine, Metal Mike. You're good. You've been here before. Seen both a long time ago. I'm assuming he means the Pornhub parodies. They're
No,
Oh.
definitely know what he's talking about.
good.
You know, like See No Evil 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
those things we're talking about tomorrow.
Maybe those two. Just give it to people who actually care to make content and not be a robot with a spin. Like us.
Sorry, I'm just.
Well, if you haven't seen Texas Dildo Masquerade and Evil Head, I recommend them. And I know exactly where you can go watch them, and in the most enjoyable way possible.
See, there's only one that like I really enjoyed, and it's never going to see the light of day, and it still pisses me off to this
Still
fucking
working
day.
on Travis with that. Listen, he's difficult. All right.
It's never gonna. It's
Pornhub's
never gonna. I'm never. It's fine. No, it's fine. I'm fine.
Obviously.
You know what else you are? You're in the spotlight because it's news and rumor time.
Hey, that's me. All right. So, obviously, last week I was not here. I was on a booze cruise. Kind of enjoying my time. Definitely was better last year. But I sent Matt some things for news and rumors. One of which was Dark Side of the Ring coming back in March. Now, we have an episode list of the episodes that will be coming starting in March. I'm assuming these are in no particular order. Kurt Angle, his past with drug and alcohol addiction, so Perk Angle. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Harley Race, Buff Bagwell, Chris Adams, Sandman, and Black Saturday. And then it says, when Vince McMahon purchased Georgia Championship Wrestling to get access to the TBS time slot in 1984. I don't know who Chris Adams is.
So Chris Adams is a British wrestler that I only know because he trained Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's in Stone Cold's book. He also wrestled in WCW. Okay. He's there actually in 1998. I've seen him like 2 or 3 times, but that was it.
Oh, cool. Okay. But those are going to be the episodes.
Shadow didn't know about the Black Saturday thing, so that's cool.
I also didn't know about that.
I know that their goal was like, we need more dark shit because everyone felt like the last season wasn't dark enough. And then they had to compete with Will, who's doing his own thing and getting super dark. So like they had to step their game up. So yeah, no, I'm interested. We'll see how it goes. I'm just bummed I can't watch them live. I either got to go watch them on YouTube or I got to wait till the whole season drops and then binge them. So
yeah, I mean that's fair.
I think the Black Saturday episode is going to be. I think it's going to be eye-opening for a lot of people because they don't realize Vince McMahon showed up in WCW substantially earlier than 2001 for the first time and everything that happened there. And a few of the other people you mentioned have really interesting stories outside of the ring, like Brutus the Barber. Like getting into his story, he's not just another like drug and alcohol story, but he is. But it's like they're going dark and they're going to get into stuff now that's not just wrestling dark. It's going to be like real life. Oh shit. Like it's going to be pretty intense. When I saw the list, I was like, okay, so they, like Matt said, they went from not being dark enough to being like, oh God. Like,
which like, I feel like last season they went like kind of like they obviously not like first like 2 seasons dark, but like it wasn't like bad.
It's like going from House of Black and AEW to Ministry of Darkness strapping Stephanie to a symbol.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Crucifying Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I have some things to say about House of Black tonight. We'll get into it. What else you got for us, Katie?
Okada. I'm sorry. Katsukuchi Uganda. My apologies. Shook the world and is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling at the end of the month And the entire wrestling world is losing their minds because will he go to WWE? Will he go to that? Will he go to AEW? Will he go to TNA? I don't know. But yeah, he's leaving the company.
I don't see him going to WWE.
I don't really either.
I don't necessarily know, especially because like I've heard a lot about Okada and how he is not the Okada that he was in the Kenny matches, and he's kind of down. So maybe like working a WWE style would be better and beneficial for him. I just don't know that Okada has. So like they brought in Shinsuke, right? And they built Shinsuke in NXT and so on and so forth. Yeah. I don't think people would be happy with that with Okada, and I don't know that globally for a bigger audience than wrestling diehards, Okada has the name or appeal, especially if he can't go the way he used to a global WWE audience that would warrant bringing him in and sticking him on the main roster.
There is one way you can easily transition him into that position in main roster if he were to go to WWE, and I think it'd be an interesting move, especially if he wants to take it easier, like kind of like the Shinsuke schedule. So that's exactly what you do. You introduce him as an ally, former ally with Shinsuke, which is true. They used to have their own faction in New Japan. He was Shinsuke's protege, so to speak. He was like the Randy Orton of Evolution over there in Japan. So you could do that similar to what they did with Butch. Funny enough, that's how they introduced him to the main roster. He was like, oh, a former friend of Sheamus and Rich Holland. And you could do that with Okada. Introduce him that way on the main roster, associate him with Shinsuke, maybe give Shinsuke a faction.
Maybe.
Or a tag team.
I maybe it's just me and my perception. I just, like I said, guys like Pete Dunne, guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, they all came in, but they came in under the NXT banner and they kind of got built in the WWE system. They weren't just thrown out onto the main roster. They had time to learn under Triple H's tree of how WWE produces wrestling, which isn't for everybody and not everyone enjoys. Yeah. But it's a very specific style that you have to learn. It's not just something that anybody off the street walks in and, except for Bad Bunny and some other jackass. But it's not just something like most people who have been training in wrestling adapt to naturally and just come off and can do, you know? Very few people can do that. I'm not saying Okada can't. I don't know. We'd have to see.
If he does go to NXT, me personally, I know some internet community members might throw an uproar, but I think it'd be perfectly fine if he goes to NXT. If he's going to go in there for like a cup of tea, just go in there, challenge for titles, get to the top, maybe be NXT champion for like a few months there, and then get called up quickly. Like he can be there for like the span of like a 6 to 8 month stretch, and then have him be in main roster. I don't know. I think they do it. I think you do it.
We'll find out. Royal Rumble's next weekend.
I'm excited.
Literally next weekend.
It's my favorite time of the year.
People are going to be so mad if they send him to NXT. They're going to lose their shit.
It would give me more reason to watch NXT.
NXT's great.
No, more. I said that more reason. I didn't say reason to watch NXT. I said more reason.
I was going to say, we will fight right now.
What else you got, Katie?
A24 is making Kevin Von Erich, Zac Efron action figures, and it looks kind of cool. I think the pre-order starts next week for them, but the amount of stuff they have done for this movie, well fucking done. People.
Adele loved Iron Claw. It was her favorite movie.
Really?
Adele's a fucking genius. That's why. I love her.
And I saw someone tweet her, what are you doing WrestleMania weekend? I think it was Jesus.
It was Jesus.
Like, yeah.
That sounds like Jesus. A Jesus.
Also, shout out to Noob and Dominic, who are joining us in the chat as well. How you doing, guys? Bakley showed up.
Bakley.
Wait, is it
Bakley, not ELY. Or maybe it is ELY. I don't know. I can't ever fucking remember. I spell his name wrong every time thinking I'm spelling it right. It is what it is.
It's okay.
He'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. Seth Rollins has a torn MCL and a partially torn meniscus that happened during his match on Monday night. Allegedly, he will be addressing his health and things starting the show on Monday. Listen, Seth has probably some of the shittiest timing when it comes to getting injured, and it sucks, especially if he can fully recover and he's Gucci and doesn't have to take a shit ton of time off and can come back for Mania. Well done, sir. But this is the thing that always happens is these wrestlers try and push themselves too hard to get cleared faster and end up hurting themselves again. Charlotte got surgery like 2 weeks ago and is fucking like trying to walk and shit again. Like, please slow down.
Yeah.
Especially because your knees are very temperamental. So I don't know.
There's always been this thing that you hear about from wrestlers where they talk about, like, if you're off TV, you're forgotten about, right? And that's like the biggest fear is, if I'm gone long enough, when I come back, will anyone care? Will anyone remember me? And there are some wrestlers where you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that they were still here. Like, I forgot, blah, blah, blah. But you're always excited when the music hits. Like, you remember them. You know, I can't think of a wrestler that showed up and I wasn't excited when I heard their music hit that was gone for a while. Certain wrestlers like Alexa Bliss, Carmella are always on my mind waiting for those comebacks, even though I know they got babies at home and it might be a while. You know, it is what it is. But like, we know Elias isn't with WWE anymore, but like when he did his comeback, or Rick Boogs after his injury, stuff like that, pop. Like, there's no reason to rush. Get fucking healthy. And especially names like Seth Rollins and Charlotte, we're not going to fucking forget about you. We're not going to not pop for you when that music hits.
I mean, if like someone like a Dolph Ziggler were to return, I don't think like that would really matter, you know? Someone like a Jimmy Wang Yang, I think like those kind of people can be.
I pop for Jimmy Wang Yang.
I pop for Jimmy Wang Yang too, but people would forget. Like, I'm saying, like lower level of the card wrestlers would get forgotten. Oh my god!
But even then, like when their music plays, you're gonna pop for him. If Tozawa got injured tomorrow, and in 6 months his music hit and he came out doing that stupid little dance, you know people are gonna pop.
I wouldn't pop initially, but if it started doing
don't
the
hate
dance,
the
I'd
Wang.
pop.
Don't hate the Wang.
Hashtag Vince hates Wang.
Vince hates Wang.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that narrative.
I mean, that's a choice, sir.
Hashtag Matt loves Wang. Anyway, go ahead.
You need to be stopped. Last thing I have is it's nothing major. We now know the start time for the Elimination Chamber. Next month, it'll be 5 a.m. my time, 4 a.m. for 6 a.m. for Savannah. I don't know. I try to remember it all, and you all are in too many different places.
You're going the wrong way. So if it's 5 a.m. for you, it's 4 a.m. for me.
Oh, she's 2. You're 1. That's right.
So 3 a.m. for Savannah and like 2 a.m. for TC.
Yeah. 2 a.m. I knew because that one was also said because it's always PST or EST, and then you all come along and fuck everything up.
It's always CST.
It's always EST. I don't understand. That's kind of crazy.
Raise your hand if you're in the CST time zone.
It doesn't matter.
If this was the whole country as a whole, it would still be more people raising our hands.
Doesn't matter. The best is the EST. I'm telling Bianca you guys said this.
Go right
ahead. She's gonna be mad, y'all.
Of course, Bakley's on the East Coast. He's with Katie.
Fuck you and your time zone, Bakley.
Wow.
It's gonna be early, but we'll still be doing Smackin It Raw at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern, and we will have Matt from A Pro Wrestling Podcast with Matt and Friends joining us to smash or pass Backlash or
Royal Rumble.
Chamber.
Chamber.
We're talking
Everyone's
about
wrong.
We have Heel Face Pod, Heel and Face Pod coming on
Next week.
for Royal Rumble
Next week.
next week.
Oh yeah.
That I might skip. That I might skip. That's
You're gonna
another
skip the
reason
Royal
why
Rumble.
Yeah,
You're
because
doing first one.
I'm gonna be at my parents' house with my siblings watching it, and I don't want to rush home to try to do the podcast unless you want me to record while I drive again.
No, I do not want you to put yours and everyone else's life at risk, especially in a Chicago winter.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I mean, we could try just for shits and giggles, see what happens.
No.
Butterfly effects, you know.
No, I have something for Butterfly Effect tomorrow for news and rumors.
Okay.
Is that all? There
That's
you go.
all I had. Yeah. No. If
Then,
something else
ladies and
happened, I wasn't paying attention. So
No, I think we spent enough time on news and rumors. Let's get into our spits or swallows for the week. I alluded to it at the beginning of the show, so I'm going to kick it off.
okay.
I'm spitting the House of Black. Now, here's the thing. Hold on. Listen. I love Julia Hart. I love Malachi Black. I like Buddy Matthews. Brody King is Brody King, right? But for what I enjoy in my pro wrestling and for what the potential that this group has to give me what I enjoy in my pro wrestling, they're not delivering. It is literally just a group of people who come out and wrestle with a cool entrance, and that's it. There is nothing dark or black. They're not kidnapping people. They're not sacrificing it. They're not doing anything that I'd want them to do. They just come out every week and wrestle, and occasionally the lights go out and they show up in the ring and they go out again and they disappear. Like, that's the darkest, creepiest, scary. And that's not for me. That's not what I enjoy in my wrestling. I like the added drama, the extra bits. I like more production than just guys coming out. There are plenty of guys that just come out and wrestle in tattoos with cool music and an entrance, and that's all the House of Black is really giving me at this point. Is it's a group of people
Matt
that come
did
out
that
and
in
wrestle.
his backyard.
I did do that in my backyard. I didn't have
Exactly.
tattoos at that point, but I did do that in my backyard.
In my mind, you've had tattoos from birth, just like R-Truth was able to speak from birth. So that's...
And it sucks because I love the majority of the people. Like I've said my piece on Brody King. I feel like for a guy that size, he should be hitting a hell of a lot harder than what it looks like he's hitting in the ring. I don't feel like the impact's there on a lot of his stuff, and that kind of bothers me. It doesn't mean he's a bad wrestler. It's just what I want to see out of him. I don't think that the momentum is there behind a lot of the stuff that he does. And if he made it more impactful, I would be behind him a lot more. Outside of that, I mean, he's great. He did great in the IHOP Classic.
Red Robin
International Pancake House.
Pancake House.
Red Robin tournament.
Yeah.
But I watched them tonight, and they're in a feud with FTR and Daniel Garcia, and I'm just like, I want more from you guys. Like, I want more of the. I want to see you guys like the shit that we got with MJF and the Devil and Adam. Like, I want more of that from them because Malachi is creative as fuck. Julia Hart is amazing and could be doing some really fun, cool shit. Lights going out and showing up and then disappearing is like the most basic form of dark character bullshit you can do. And it's not doing it for me anymore. I need more. So.
I mean, this was the first time in a while I've got to like catch Collision. So I haven't seen a lot of stuff recently. The last thing I remember them doing that was like kind of creepy-ish was when they were first targeting FTR and they were like burning pictures of one of their like families and shit because that's satanic and stuff. That was a few weeks ago. I don't know why they're not now. Also, yeah, I did forget to kind of mention the ring systems are back. Whoops.
I had it in my spits and swallows. I'll get to it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna take us back to yesterday on SmackDown one of the early things from the show. We finally got the one thing I've been bitching and moaning and complaining about in terms of programming with a specific returning Ruthless Aggression era member of the roster. Carlito finally came out to the ring with his fellow LWO cohorts in an LWO shirt. Black tank top cut off. That's the biggest swallow for me this week, just for the simple fact that I've been complaining about it. I hate it back in the day during the Nexus era where John Cena was forced to join the Nexus, but he was still rocking his purple Barney like gear and not wearing the Nexus t-shirt. It bugged me to no end then. Like if you're in the faction, wear the faction t-shirt or wear a faction adjacent t-shirt. Imagine if like Rhea Ripley was out there, but she didn't have any Judgment Day stuff.
Or like if a podcaster went to a show and only got the sign from a different podcast on air, not the podcast that he's on officially.
I'm on the Getcho podcast officially. I got my flag in the bio.
Regardless of the why he wants a race.
Anyways, back to my point. Swallowing Carlito wearing an LWO t-shirt. I love the trios match they had between LWO versus Legado de Fantasma. They finally officially dubbed Angel, Humberto, and Santos as Legado de Fantasma. Loved it. It was a good match. Fantastic. Walking Wild, when he hit that turnaround DDT bullshit thing, fucking fantastic. Great match. Loved that they got the win for Santos and everybody. So swallowing everything LWO Mexican adjacent on SmackDown. Minus Bailey, but I'll get to Bailey.
All right. I'm not against it. I like seeing. I still need Paquete de Lobos LWO announced. I'm gonna need that. But other than that, yeah.
Can we make that into a shirt? Paquete de Lobos.
You talk to Travis. I still don't know what's going on with our merch.
There we go.
There we go. You can talk to Travis. I still don't know what's going on with our merch. I look, there's not much on the website right now, and I think we're still in a transition. So
no, I meant in terms of there was like a line in the sand where you said we can't make our own custom merch for ourselves and put it on air because people will want it, and if we can't sell it to them, there's no supply and demand type of thing. Like don't show people what they can't have, basically. Type of thing. I remember that being a rule because I told you, can I make
not my rule? That's Travis's rule.
Yeah, the Travis rule, which is
hence,
our rule.
Talk to Travis.
We'll see.
Regardless, just talk to Travis.
I'll design something anyways, just for shits and giggles.
I mean, you can wear whatever the fuck you want, and if they demand it, then you just put it up on the website. It is what it is.
Yeah,
it's what I'll do then.
Science.
Will, spit or swallow?
I think I'm going to. I'll stick with Collision because I had the Brawl and the House of Black match on my list, and I had Gargle undecidedly for it. Because I made a Buddy Matthews comment when I was watching about how I said Buddy Matthews isn't nearly as entertaining as he was like 8 months ago. You know, that was kind of my feel for it. So I didn't really. So that was on my list too. I'm going to kind of go along with that because Collision had a lot of gargling undecidedly. And this whole Edge losing to Christian Cage and having to fight from underneath now and doing this Edge versus the World Open Challenge stuff, like, I'm not against the idea of somebody like having to rebuild after losing a title match. I don't feel like Adam Copeland at this point in his career really has anything to prove. So I don't really get anything from this story of him having to fight these like mid-card guys. Like, I don't get it. You know, and I love independent. I love indie darlings. You know what I mean? I'm the indie guy. You know, in our circle of friends, like that's what I do. I'm one of like 5 people that watch the NWA, right? So I don't mind independent. Yeah, one of 5 people. So I don't mind independent stars getting.
So you
TV time
admit
again.
NWA is independence?
Oh, 100% they're an independent. They offer contracts to their stars, but I have yet to see an NWA contract that says you can't work other places. You know what I mean? They don't do exclusive contracts like AEW, WWE, even Impact. So I would say 100% that NWA is more independent than Impact for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to gargle undecidedly Edge versus the World because I don't think he has anything to prove by holding open challenges with the AEW roster.
I get that. I mean, I looked at it more as like he wants to work with young talent. Like the whole point of coming to AEW was to do the things. Like he's working Minoru Suzuki next week, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the stuff that he never would have got the chance to do. Edge has always liked working with the young guys and giving them pointers and doing shit like that. So this is him giving back a little bit, and I'm cool with that. But also, I agree, it's fucking Edge, and you want to see him against your Adam Coles and your top guys, not.
So you want him facing FTR,
not Top Flight.
I don't have anything against Dante Martin. I love him, but let's be honest, Adam Copeland, the person, only has a few more bumps left on that bump card. Not that I don't think Dante Martin can be a good match, but there's a lot of matches ahead of Dante Martin that I want to see Edge have a chance to wrestle. And tonight's match is just one less match I'm going to be able to see now because I had to watch him wrestle Dante Martin.
To be fair, Dominic, I think bumps are what ruined the NWA, at least recently.
We're not wrestling.
Sinister
bumps,
Minister
right?
taking them on pay-per-view right before they had a TV deal coming in that they lost might have hurt them a little bit.
You can check all the new episodes of NWA Power starting on February 6th on the CW app every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., as long with their reality television show on the CW channel that starts the first week of March.
No. My whole issue right now.
I love you, Matt. They didn't lose a TV deal.
They're not on TV. They're on an app.
That's
touche.
Technically,
their wrestling is their reality TV show will be on TV.
Yeah, there you go. And I wonder if on the anyway. Continue. Sorry, Vince. What are you gonna say?
No, it's cool. I was just gonna say like the thing that for me that I haven't liked about Adam Copeland Edge being in AEW, yeah, he is fighting all these mid card guys, and he should really be doing more upper card stuff with guys like Adam Cole and stuff, doing some dream matches that we want to see before his time is up. Because, like Will mentioned, he has like a certain amount of bumps on that bump card before he has to officially hang it up. And I don't know, he just kind of feels like a guy. He doesn't feel like Edge. He has the music, but when I see him out there, maybe it's the lack of like the short hair, or maybe it's the gear, or maybe I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure out what it is, but he hasn't felt like Edge, except for that first night when he debuted on AEW television. Aside from that entrance, from that exciting moments, we really haven't, for me at least, seen Edge on AEW. We've seen Adam Copeland, the guy. He just seems like another generic wrestler. You know, someone did you create in WWE 2K.
Yeah. Are they on Fight? Is NWA still on Fight or no?
They do pay-per-views on Fight. Weekly television is on CW app.
There you go.
Will's got all the answers.
Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow DIY versus Judgment Day. I know a lot of people don't like Johnny Gargano.
It's on my swallows, Katie. I promise. Very top row. It says DIY. Look, I wrote it down.
As you should, because listen, we say it every fucking week, and I say it every fucking week on my show. Split these goddamn tag team titles and let DIY be the tag team champs for Monday Night Raw. And you got hella good tag teams on SmackDown. You can go ahead and fuck it, put them on AOP. I don't even care. Just split these fucking titles. I'm over this shit. But DIY, that's my NXT heart right there. And I love watching them wrestle. And yeah, against Judgment Day. And Judgment Day is
Amazing. Gotcha.
Becoming ridiculous, especially with all the R-Truth stuff. But like, I love R-Truth. Like, this is not a knock against Truth, but like, just fuck these. Just split the goddamn titles. Fuck. Please.
I'm with you, Katie. I think they'll wait until after Mania, but I hope that's when we get it.
That's too long. Because
maybe they split it at Mania. In the ladder match, two different teams grab different sets of titles, and then you do the draft afterwards, and you draft the corresponding color coordinated title to that show. I
mean, or they can just like split these fucking titles now and be like, fuck Judgment Day and just split the titles.
Give them a purple title and make a new title for SmackDown.
There's 4 members of Judgment Day. Split the titles between the 2 of them, send 2 of them to SmackDown and let them lose them, and then they can come back
send
Raw.
Dominic and JD over to SmackDown.
Exactly.
No. Don't split up my Judgment Day.
And then Senior and Demon can stay on Raw.
They're just Judgment Day blue down there. It's still Judgment Day. You got Judgment Day Red,
fine.
Judgment Day blue.
If you're gonna send any 2 members of Judgment Day, at least send Damian Priest and Dominic, so all my Latinos are on SmackDown.
No, you can't do that because Dominic and Damian Priest are not the tag team champions. You have to keep Damian and Finn together because they're the tag team champions.
Exactly.
No, I want all my Latinos on Fridays.
Then they're gonna have to lose those titles.
I'm okay with that.
Right now.
Bakley asked the question. I am swallowing the return of rankings to AEW, not because I think that the ranking system was a good idea or done well in the first place, but because I like the idea that AEW is getting back to the idea of what AEW originally was, where it was supposed to be an alternative and it was supposed to be different. I'm holding my judgment because I think that the ranking system was a failure the first time around. I'm hoping Tony has learned some things and can turn it around and do it right. One of those things being like in other sports similar to wrestling, like boxing, you have rankings for divisions for your championships, where not every male singles wrestler is in the same fucking rankings, but you have rankings for your TNT title. You have rankings for your AEW World Heavyweight title, blah, 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 blah. And people are wrestling in specific divisions, and there are rankings for those divisions, and it's not just a lump sum. One of the things I'm hoping for, I doubt it, but we'll see. The other part of me that swallowed this is I like to believe that this all stems from Tony really just, and don't get me wrong, I'm wrapping this in there. Hook versus Joe is a swallow for me. I called it last week and said, this is going to be a blowout show out for motherfucking Hook, right? And I know people like the guy below me may have an issue with Hook kicking out of muscle busters and things like that. But as my boy Kyle said, do you know who the fuck his father is? You're pointing the wrong way, Vince. If you watched any ECW and you know who Taz is, Hook doing these things shouldn't surprise you. It is in the genetics, right? I think Hook had a great debut. He lost to Samoa Joe. He didn't win. It was a big match for him. But this is all just Tony Khan justifying the fact that he was sitting here touting Hook's record as if it mattered because the ranking system was fucking gone. And now the ranking system's back, so it means something again. He had to justify his bullshit from last week, going after Jinder and bringing up Hook's record. And that's where I think all this stemmed from.
That's why he got Peasant. That's why he got Peasant last week.
For me as well.
No, I mean, if we're talking Hook and Joe right now, listen, you said it. Oh, are we also doing this fucking shit, Matt? No, hold. I can't talk and do this at the same time. Stop it. I already can't focus. Hook and Joe was everything it was meant to be. You talked about it last week, and I talked about it this week. Shit. This way, yeah. God, stop it. Hook kicking out at the Muscle Buster at 1, even when his dad on commentary said, nope, this is it.
Love that.
He's done for. Kicks out of 1. He's like, love that. Refusing to stay down after he gets he didn't tap. We have to make that well known. He didn't tap. He just fell asleep for a few seconds.
He always sleeps.
He's always sleepy. But the match did for Hook what it did for Jack Perry in the beginning of AEW when he was going against Jericho in the very beginning, even though we don't like Chris Jericho, but you have to admit it did what it had to do for Jericho in the beginning. You can even say the same thing for Dante Martin when he was going against all the bigger guys when he first came in with his brother. It's what AEW kind of does. They just have one of the younger guys in mind, and they just throw him into the wolves kind of situation. Same thing with Danny Garcia. I mean, he's gone against Brian, and that alone is a stepping stone. I loved Hook and Joe. A Uranagi through the table in front of your father? Fucked up. Matt, stop. Shit. Where are we going? There.
Do I got the right?
This is the dumbest
side?
fucking. This is the dumbest fucking.
Can we
video.
all do a heart in the center of the thing?
No. Can we move on?
Can I?
Yeah, you can shit on my swallow.
I want to
Okay.
shit on your swallow.
First
Ew.
of all, I would like to say that Mateo and Katie, I love you both. Two of my closest friends I've made in podcasting. I'd give you both the shirt off my back. I don't yuck any yums. The reasons, however, the reasons why I'm spitting Joe and Hook are because the same reasons you begrudgingly love me as your friend. Okay? You know I'm an old school wrestling fan. All right? So the reasons why I didn't like it, the big one at the very top of the list is protected finishers. Nobody had ever kicked out of the Muscle Buster up until that point. So you're telling me Hook kicking out at 1 on free TV in this match was the time Joe needed to mess his finisher up? Okay.
What if Hook becomes AEW's Brock Lesnar?
What if Hook
Whoa.
becomes AR Fox or Action Andretti or Nick Wayne or any of these other indie darlings he's brought in and squandered over the years?
I agree. There is a very big chance of that as well. But there's also an equal chance that Hook just starts, even though he's like 95 pounds, like just starts wrecking motherfuckers, and he is AEW's Brock Lesnar, and they book him like Taz got booked in ECW. And I need to preface that. Book him like Taz got booked in ECW, not like Taz got booked in WWE.
I think that looking at it from a booking perspective, though, and I'm sorry, Vince, you can have the floor in just a second. I don't want to lose my train of thought. I wrote down notes for this because I was like, Matt and Katie are going to take me to school if I don't have my shit in order. So taking away nepotism Ken away from the ordeal, and the fact that if you want to talk about people doing things like paying dues to get where they've done, he really didn't do any of that. The reason why he has the job is because of who his dad is. Okay. And that's neither here nor there. I have gotten more than one job because of the people I worked with or knew before I got there. But looking at it from the booking perspective of your world title, you're coming out of the longest reign in company history, both in combined days and consecutive days. Okay. You have the biggest world title drop in your company's history to Joe, and your first title defense is your champion getting pushed to the limit by a guy who's 180 pounds smaller than he is. And just right off the top of your head, who is the best opponent Hook's ever beaten?
Yeah. I can't think of anyone.
I just can't think of people in AEW.
See, this is where we should drop the ad break and then we'll come back while you guys think about it. No, I'm just kidding, man. The point
Jack
is like,
Perry.
okay, well, still to this to better my point, it took you that long to think of Jack Perry. So your first defense in the title with Joe having it is against this guy who busts the Muscle Buster on free television.
Okay.
Like, to me, there was a lot of questionable things. My big thing on Botch Spots, no free shout outs, is don't make a wrestling fan ask why. There were lots of whys in this match.
I don't want to spend this much longer on Hook, so I'm setting my own stopwatch so I don't take too long. Point number one. That match should have been what Brock versus Kofi was on Fox on SmackDown. It should have been done in like less than a minute. Joe should have squashed them. Matter of fact, redo the whole Goldberg Brock Lesnar Survivor Series match. Have Joe destroy Hook. He is over 100 pounds heavier than him. Not only has the Muscle Buster been protected in AEW, it's been protected in WWE, and it's been protected in NXT and in TNA, Ring of Honor, everywhere. Not that many people kick out of his finisher. Point number two, and I'm gonna throw this at Matt. This was revealed in an interview by I think Fred Van Fleet and Baron Corbin, where he had a conversation with Undertaker, and Undertaker was giving them advice to Baron Corbin. He said, "Protect your finish." So ever since then, Baron Corbin protected his finisher. So if you're gonna if I'm not gonna win the match, if I'm not gonna beat you within the days, I'm not gonna hit you within the days. When he worked with John Cena, John asked him, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I know what I don't want to do. I don't want to kick out of your finish, and I would really appreciate if you don't kick out of mine." You gotta respect Joe. Like, I'm sorry, you're lowering the value of that finisher. I'm very old school as well. One of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling is when people kick out of finishers left, right. And it's one of the reasons I couldn't enjoy Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano's, because so many kickouts out of finishers. I know this is sour grapes. I know I'm being very negative about it. Love Hook, I've warmed up to the guy, but he really shouldn't be going toe-to-toe and challenging your champion like he did, especially not kicking out of his finisher. So that's just my 2 cents. I went in less than 2 minutes. I'm done.
I think he held his own against Samoa Joe. I'm happy for him. I hope that they capitalize on this. Throwing a quote from things that The Undertaker said means absolutely nothing to me, to some other wrestler. If he had said that to Samoa Joe, again, it's Joe's finish. Joe had the okay to do it. He allowed it to happen. That is a Joe choice.
I don't like it. It's
That's
one of the
Joe.
things that I don't. It's one of the things
Then
I
you
don't
can
like.
take up with Samoa Joe.
Idea. You should not
That's
have
why
done
I'm
that,
spitting
Joe.
it. I'm not spitting Hook. I'm spitting. If Joe allowed it, then I'm spitting Joe allowing.
I just
people
love how you're
kick
like,
out of
I'm
his
directing
finish.
this at Matt. The Undertaker told one guy one time this thing, and it's like, I don't give a fuck. Undertaker's probably said a lot of shit that I don't necessarily agree with, and I'll be very open about that. Guarantee it.
Nah,
Just because
but
the Undertaker said it doesn't mean I co-sign everything.
my whole point, like I said, is that that's an old school way of thinking. That's what you do. You protect your finisher. Not too many people should be kicking out of your finisher, so that when people kick out of your finisher, it means something. Next time I see someone get hit with the Muscle Buster, I won't be shocked or surprised if they kick out, because Hook, of all people, kicked out. Nothing against Hook, but he's on the lower level.
He also hasn't really been using the Muscle Buster. He's been using the Cohina clutch as his finish because people were getting hurt with the Muscle Buster. So
Hook
maybe this is the way to be done with the Muscle Buster.
Hook is the
Krillin
of AEW, and Samoa Joe right now is their Vegeta, and Vegeta just went toe-to-toe evenly with Krillin. That's the way I saw it.
I would not say that. Katie, spit or swallow, because these
Thank
two
you
have
so much.
had plenty of time with this one.
Yeah, let's talk about something I want to talk about, because fuck this. So nobody watches Rampage. I know this for a fact. However, Ruby Soho choked out Harley Cameron. And Lord, I see what you do for others. All I ask is that you just direct it to me, please. Now, for those of you wondering, why did Ruby Soho choke out Harley Cameron? It's because Soraya's a bitch and is trying to get Angelo Parker to not hook up with Ruby and to hook up with Harley instead. And exactly, they're setting up Anna Jay to be the scapegoat. How ironic, because she's dating Jungle Boy. And it's some bullshit. But, like, I would just like to be Harley Cameron in that scenario. Thank you for coming to my time.
Honestly, I'd like to be Angelo Parker in this scenario, because your options are Ruby Soho, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay right now. Like,
Winning.
couldn't think of a better love triangle to be involved in. Or I guess if the center of a love triangle between those three. Yeah, no. Let me get that. I would also like to be choked by either Ruby Soho or choke Harley Cameron, one of the two, in a consensual way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say consensual. It's fine. Just please, thank you.
I'm with you. Swallow. I watched the clip. I enjoyed watching the clip. Harley enjoyed getting
Welcome.
choked. I saw that.
You're welcome. I sent it to you guys for a reason.
You did.
So I was like,
I
I can't
this.
because it was not meant for your eyes.
I
on
feel
Twitter.
excluded from activities with the group.
It's okay.
Well, start watching horror movies, and maybe we'll add you to the horror movie group where that stuff got added. Will, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow the one thing from TNA this week on my list, and it's topical because I'm going to talk about Nick Namath for a second. So he came out, he did his first promo, swallowing all of it. He talks about how for the first time in his career, this is day one. I'm doing it for the first time with my name. You know, I'm doing it as Nick Namath. As he does his promo and cuts it, Steve Macklin, who is a former Impact World Champion, comes out. He's in cohorts with Eddie Edwards and his wife, and Moose, who is now the Impact World Champion. He steps up to Namath, and ultimately at the end of his promo said, at the end of the day, I'll be remembered as one of the greatest Impact World Champions. And for you, they'll just be going, whatever happened to Dolph Ziggler? And to me, I was like, damn, dude, that was awesome. And they've gotten some amazing, thank you for following me up there, Bakley. Like, they've been getting some killer views on YouTube and stuff. They just need a really great TV deal now, and we could have a 3-horse race, guys. I think TNA's got some killer product out there doing some great stuff. And Nick Nemeth being there, Moose being their world champion and building on that, the X division with, Chris Sabin and those guys, like,
Yeah.
TNA's, it's there. Just
Still
have a
got
little
Rascal
faith.
members in there for the
Yeah.
X division.
3 of the 4 Rascals are there.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you.
I was all with you until you guys started talking Rascals. And then you lost me.
I love everything about TNA right now. I love the presentation. I love like the aesthetic, the new championships. I also saw that line about like with you, they're gonna wonder whatever happened to Dolph Ziggler. I thought that shit was funny because we just literally talked about that at the beginning of the episode about wrestlers being gone after injury or whatever. No, I'm with you. I'm swallowing Nick Nemeth. I'm excited to see what they do because look what Trent did, and look what Nick can do. So we'll see. Maybe he'll be TNA champion. Maybe he'll be X Division champion.
Hopefully, it's more about what they can do for TNA and not what TNA can do for them.
Yes.
Because as much as I love Trinity and I think she's fantastic, and TNA has a fantastic women's division, she did not bring TNA to a new level as far as views and everything like that. And she's leaving on the cusp of them maybe getting there. Possibly. Rumor has it.
TNA helped her raise her stock and keep her stock high.
I'm hoping that now we start raising TNA stock because it needs to come up from where it's at.
They need solid, like, consistent players in their roster like they did back in the day. Like back in the heydays of TNA, you had the AJ Styles, you had a Samoa Joe, you had veterans like Kurt Angle, Christian Cage, Booker T, Sting. Like, these are guys that you're like, are TNA guys, exclusively TNA guys. That's what they need. They need to find those people for them.
They need Okada. And they're getting it in like next week or some shit.
Yeah.
You need a better
That's what they need.
I need Vince to spit or swallow. That's what I need.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to SmackDown. We already talked about the fantastic tag match between DIY and Judgment Day. I'm gonna swallow the rest of Judgment Day content on Monday Night Raw, starting with with Damian Priest looking for R-Truth, and he's in the back counting those fat stacks, bills, all that merchandise revenue coming in, capitalizing on that story. Then Priest is just like, no, I like, everyone's mad at you, like, you gotta stop doing this. Puts the fat stack of money in Damian Priest's hand, changes his tune. He's like, all right, you can sell the shirts, but be chill, be quiet about it. Then later on, you get the little backstage segment in the clubhouse without Rhea Ripley. You get all the male members of Judgment Day there. It's like, for one thing, R-Truth earns for the crew because, JD's still hating on R-Truth being in Judgment Day, which is why he's not on the shirt. This is a top-selling merch shirt in WWEshop.com. Go ahead and get yours. Use the link tree from Young Kings Wrestling. No free advertisement on the show either. That was great stuff. Then you get the segment in the tag match between Awesome Truth and Damian Priest and Finn, where Finn gets his revenue, his cut from R-Truth. All the money drops on the floor. Melissa was watching it. She actually laughed. She busted it out laughing. So whenever anything on WWE programming makes Melissa laugh, or she genuinely is smiling and enjoying the product, makes me enjoy it that much more. So loved it. The match was really good too. I don't know. I love the goofiness and silliness that's coming with this R-Truth stuff and Judgment Day. So all good shit.
I agree with everything you said, except for taking Will's bit about no free advertisement, because we do a lot of free advertisement here for our friends. That's what we do. We
and
plug
it's no
YK
free
Wrestling
shout outs.
No
we do
free
those too a
advertisements.
lot.
But the
All of
joke is I say it even though I do a
I know.
ton of them.
I know.
That's
I know.
the-
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Love you, Will.
Tell me
Truths
you don't
and
watch
Earner is
Watch Shots and Share
fantastic.
Shots.
Truth is the best member of Judgment Day, hands down, period.
Over Rhea?
100%.
That's just
Because
Rhea,
Rhea,
I'll be mad.
as women's champion, is a whole, like, she's her own thing. Like, her value is not being a part of Judgment Day. Truth's value is being a part of Judgment Day.
As a good leader that she is, she said the group can handle themselves.
I mean, Truth
And-
has value everywhere, but him being a part of Judgment Day is elevating Judgment Day in the segments and making them entertaining and fun. Rhea is entertaining and great outside of the stuff she does with Judgment Day.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
it's definitely not the other person.
Dominic Mysterio is the greatest wrestler right now on the
That's
Raw roster.
the biggest lie I've ever
That's
heard.
a
the
in my
best.
life.
stretch.
No, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because my next swallow is about the greatest wrestler in professional wrestling right now. You could call him the king of professional wrestling, because he is your current king of professional wrestling champion over in New Japan, the one, the only, Great-O-Khan. Shout out to Bakley for hooking me up with the info that my boy is officially the king of professional wrestling, the bull riding, stripper visiting leader of that group that Osprey's a part of, and Aussie
United
Open.
Empire.
Their leader is the king of pro wrestling.
Did you just swallow something from New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I
He
swallow
he loves the
Great-O-Khan as
Great-O-Khan.
often as possible.
I know you. I
He
know you have
loves
this
Great-O-Khan.
this parasocial relationship with Great-O-Khan, but that almost convinced me you watched. Like, that was
No.
awesome. I love that, Matt.
Never,
King of
never
pro
be fooled.
wrestling.
Never be fooled. He doesn't watch. He just hears
Just
things.
wanted me to swallow New
he's-
Japan.
Bakley
He's
just sends him
sent things.
clips.
He has sent things through the grapevine. He is not watching.
I don't got heat with United Empire. I just need everyone to know that Great-O-Khan is the leader of United Empire. That it is what it is.
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
Yeah.
Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna go to NXT because we haven't stopped there yet. So I'm swallowing the match between LWO and Chase U. Hell of a match. Love to see it. An actual tag team advancing. We love to see it. And a part of the Chase U thing. See, so Matt, your thing is that JC's doing a car wash, right?
No, she's doing an OnlyFans.
Okay, hold on. Well,
Because
hold on.
I also have an
Wait.
idea.
Okay, so originally my idea was she was going to start doing like the college car wash 80s.
Yeah.
But after the discussion that I heard this week,
Okay.
I have to get to my
So-
NXT notes. Hold on.
Because
a
I'm curious.
second.
Because I have an idea, and I wanted to talk about this with you. So
Where is it?
I'll let him say.
It's either it's. I don't think it's a bikini car wash. I think it's going to be a calendar.
that's what I think too.
Yep. Now I'm thinking she's putting together a calendar with some girls to support Chase U, and I will buy a Chase U calendar.
Listen,
I know you would.
I'm so glad
Directed
we
by
are
Jason
on
J.
the same page here with the calendar. Also, JC pulling the one girl aside at the end. It's giving, just a little bit.
Now, mind you,
Now
also,
I'm okay
as
with
Vince said, I said this on Twitter. I would absolutely love it if they started it like an NXT or a Chase U OnlyFans after firing Mandy Rose for doing, her thing, which ended up actually becoming an OnlyFans, but it wasn't at first.
Yeah.
All of that with
course.
JC being a former member of Toxic Attraction, and like if she starts like a OnlyFans-esque website in kayfabe featuring the girls of Chase U to raise money, and it like that becomes. I would love that story as well, but
Mhm.
in my notes, calendar. I'm with you.
Gotta be a calendar. Thank
Gotta be a
you.
calendar.
Oh my
And
god.
Mandy Rose is making a calendar you guys can go buy over at her OnlyFans, so that's the thing too.
Look at that.
There we
Everybody
go.
got these kids. Everybody makes calendars.
It
Everybody
all
get a calendar.
connects. It all connects.
But I'm 100% with you, Katie. Calendar
Yes.
girls.
Yes. Calendar girls.
William, spit or swallow.
I'm going to continue my tour de force around the wrestling world and jump to SmackDown because there's no semblance of order of my spits or swallows tonight. I'm going to swallow the KO show and the build for the U.S. title with KO and Logan Paul. I think that they're building KO up to look like a star. I don't think he's going to take the belt here. I think Logan holds it till Mania. But I think they're doing a good job of building it up. I think there is a problem here, and I'm not necessarily a full-blown spit with it, so maybe kind of a partial gargle. And that's the more time Logan Paul spends on a mic, the more exposed he looks in his promos. He's great on his podcast, and he's great when he can rip 100%. But if you give him a script, like his delivery's not there. He's not a great actor. You let Logan Paul do Logan Paul shit, and he's amazing at it. But the moment you give him a script and something he's supposed to do, you can tell he's acting and he's not good at it. So the longer he's on a mic, he's kind of exposing himself, which is his first weakness. And I'll give him that. The dude's been solid up until here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I just need to know if this happened to literally anybody else. During this segment, during the KO show, Logan Paul was talking, and like I was kind of paying attention because I don't listen to him when he talks because he's stupid. I got just a fucking Fox News ad like commercial during him talking, and then it finished and came back to Kevin Owens talking at the very end, like the very tail end of his like sentence. I don't know why that happened to me. I just have questions.
I'd have to go back and watch my recording. I just like had it playing in the background. I paid no
It was like
mind to
dead ass in the middle of Logan Paul talking, and then it like did like Fox News tonight at whatever, and then it went to Kevin Owens talking.
Did it happen for you, Will?
No, I got a picture-in-picture, though, during a promotion, which never happens. I'll go back to my recording and send it to you guys, too.
I am with Will, but back to what Will was saying about Logan being exposed, and then Katie's point. I had it on, and I tune out when Logan Paul talks. I was not interested in what he had to say. I tuned in when KO talked about how we all think Logan Paul's a joke, and a joke is champion, and all that other stuff. Like, that had my attention. Anything Logan had to say about, he was babbling on, I think, something about, like, oh, and it was just the beginning where he's like, I'm here because of KO, and then he played the clip from WrestleMania, and then after that, lost all interest in everything he had to say. I was done. So I don't know if that happened or not. Maybe it didn't.
I just don't like understand. Like, I was like, again, kind of paying attention. I was like, oh, Logan Paul's talking, cool, whatever. I'll just wait until like, what does Kevin have to say about all of this? Because like, I'm so excited to hear what Kevin has to say. Because I love hearing Kevin Owens talk because he gets just so mad, and I love it. And Logan Paul was saying something, and then Fox News, and I was like, that's weird. They usually never cut to a commercial like during someone talking like that. That's crazy. And then it came back, and it was like the last 2 lines of Kevin talking, and then he was like, "Oh, you want me to take off this cast?" So I missed things.
No, it was honestly the only thing I remember is the stuff at the beginning that Matt mentioned. Then what Katie mentioned about the whole cast stuff. It's like I won't wear it in our match. Matter of fact, I'll take it off right now. And I saw him hit Logan Paul. And then I looked away, did some stuff, and I looked up, and all of a sudden, Kevin Owens in the fetal position next to the ring steps outside. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I just tune out everything Logan Paul right now. Like, I'm not really interested in what Kevin's doing because it's with Logan Paul. Ever since last week, where he came out and said, cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater, referring to Kevin cheating with the cast, I have fully tuned out.
What's this guy?
Is cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater Logan Paul suffering succotash?
100%.
Oh, but like he's not gonna get better though. Like Roman at least got better.
Yep.
I deadass tweeted that out, and I'm like, cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. I'm like, with question marks. I'm like, did I really just hear that? I didn't know that happened. Like, even Melissa heard it. Like, Jesus.
You'd hate to be watching a show and then in the middle of it, all of a sudden there's just an ad break mid-conversation. We would never do something like that at Creation World as long as you go to our Patreon and subscribe. Now, for $1, you get 4 shows. You get If You Have to Ask with me and Kate. I'm sorry, 3 shows. I said 4. 4's coming. Bridget is going to be reviewing sex toys. You will be getting 4 shows. That is the thing that is coming. We talked about it this week on The Creation Conversation, which you guys should check out Mondays through Fridays at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern time. But as of right now, you can get If You Have to Ask with me and my wife, Kate, where we do Am I the Asshole post. You get Return to Wrestling with Travis and I, where we talk old school WCW. We are in the middle of 1998. Tomorrow morning, actually, we will be recording the episode for this month, which is Great American Bash 1998. And you get Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they watch DC animated films and break them down. 3 great shows, plus a sex toy review show, all coming to you for the low, low price of $1. And it's all the episodes that we've already recorded, plus a new one every month, not just those new episodes, all for that $1. If you click on higher tiers, you get more shit. So go check out what we have to offer by clicking that link and going to patreon.com/creationworld. One of those tiers gives you this show ad-free, so you don't have to worry about us being in the middle of a conversation and something like this happening.
Tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try DUBBY, the ultimate energy source. DUBBY is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, DUBBY can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, DUBBY is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix DUBBY with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your DUBBY today. And for a limited time, use code CREATIA at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try DUBBY today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
Listen, we still have a lot of wrestling to talk about, but I'm still on Collision. We were introduced to a super group tonight. The Bang Bang Gang and the Acclaimed formed the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Now, I started off the show talking about the video that I recorded, the scissoring, the whole thing, fun shit. Only for after that to happen, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang became a thing. And while I have warmed up on the Ass Boys since they have joined Jay White, I know there are a lot of people out there who were hoping for more for Jay White. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. These groups coming together, hopefully a little reconciliation between Daddy Ass and the Ass Boys there. And hopefully a platform to launch Jay White to the moon through this, because you have the aspect of the Golden Shower Club as well as the entertainment value of the Acclaimed, and hopefully a bunch of great wrestling all mixed in together. Hopefully this does a lot for them. I'm all for the Bang Bangs. Bang Bang Scissor Gang is the most Smackin' It Raw-esque fucking thing you could name a faction, hands down, period, and is my top vote for this episode's title. So I am swallowing Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Hell yeah.
That happened on what, Collision?
Yeah,
it happened
a few hours ago.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think it was like Ian Riccoboni was like, mark your calendars. It happened tonight. Yeah, I mean, everyone loves the Acclaim. Like Matt said, Diego Luna and the Ass Boys. Like, come on. You can't go wrong. I'm not mad at it. You need some type of Avenger ass super group to go against the Adam Cole and the Devil Worshippers. You can only do so much. So, like, combining all of these forces of good, kind of with the Bang Bang Gang, against the powers of evil. Fuck it, why not? Yeah, I don't like it with the good. It's just the one. I don't like it.
Yeah.
A scissor with
Just
guns.
the thumb. Just the thumb. Put it down.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Will, any thoughts on the Bang Bang Scissor Gang?
I love everything about all of it. I had written down the Bullet Club Gold winning the 6-man tag titles, tying that into this. So yeah, I think coming into it, it's the best way to keep all of those MJF stories that were kind of all intertwined until he got hurt and out of the picture. It's a good way to keep combining all the stories. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, it just rocks. You know, it's just awesome.
This fucking guy. Whoa.
While you have the floor, William, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna stay on SmackDown. Just keep knocking things off my list. Things that I know people are gonna like, but maybe didn't spit or swallow themselves. I'm gonna swallow the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne coming back. Them even tying it in. Corey Graves putting in a little bow on it about how Butch was just a temporary nickname when he was with the Brawling Brutes, but he's always been the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Like the way they kind of tied it in and made it make sense. Like, yeah. What is Bray doing?
He is gyrating to the idea of the Bruiserweight.
He's doing like the
being
private party dance.
It looked like he was doing like the Daniel Garcia, like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because Will, you were here last week. Vince was here as well, and I said I was reserving swallowing. That was not a shot at you, Katie. I'm just going back to last week. They were both here. Reserving swallowing the whole vignette between Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate about finding the name. I was hoping this is where they were going, but until they officially did it, I was reserving it. So I'm with you. Pete Dunne is back, and that is a huge swallow. When I saw that name come up, I popped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Peter Dune is back, baby. Let's go. Kyle O'Reilly smiling somewhere in the distance.
Kyle O'Reilly. But he's not back.
He's also in a different company, so it doesn't matter.
Vince, spit or swallow.
I'm frozen at the moment. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I love when
Okay.
you're ventriloquist mode.
Okay. Well, I guess this is what I have to do to get attention because I got skipped the last time around, so I didn't get a spit or a swallow the last
Darn
time.
Unfortunately, the ad break took your spot. So
I guess. Jesus. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back and stay on Raw and swallow the last bit of Judgment Day content, and that was Becky Lynch face to face with Rhea Ripley having the little promo. Listen to this week's Get Show podcast that I wasn't able to be a part of, and Justin wasn't feeling it, but I felt everything about this promo. This is the matchup I've been waiting for. This is one of the matchups that I'm looking forward to at WrestleMania that I know we're gonna get. I just don't know how we're gonna get there. And honestly, I love the premise of it. Becky Lynch is like, oh, we're very similar. The only difference is that I think you might be better. She like really put over Rhea Ripley as this dominant champion, as this dominant top tier wrestler, and actually casting the shadow of doubt that she doesn't know if she can beat Rhea Ripley. Obviously, they set it up that like Becky Lynch is like made her attention know that she's going to try to win the Royal Rumble, and when she does win the Royal Rumble, she's going to face and choose Rhea at WrestleMania for that WWE World Women's title. And Rhea even says, like, I'll see you at WrestleMania. So they're planting the seeds for this match. And if we don't get this match, I'm going to be greatly blue-balled. But I'm liking everything I saw. I loved everything about this. And I'm here for it. I'm all for it. I don't think she should win the Rumble, but I wouldn't be against it. She's kind of like Cody. She doesn't need to win the Rumble to get to a world title match. But
fuck you.
Cody's gonna get to that Royal Rumble. He doesn't.
There is no way you get Cody from Raw to SmackDown to challenge for that championship without winning the fucking Royal Rumble, and I'm sick of this narrative. Anyway, continue.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Hey, you're back.
There you go.
All it took was Matt to get
See, Vince,
pissed.
I want to agree. Like, you keep dropping things, and I want to agree with you. And then you just keep talking until the point where you say something that I can't fucking agree with.
Because
everything you said about Rhea.
Look,
no, don't ruin it. Just don't ruin it. Let me just agree with you. Just shut the fuck up and let me agree with you. Everything you said about Rhea and Becky, fucking fantastic. Agreed. Becky did the old school wrestling thing and put her opponent over as being something. So if she does beat her, it means something. She's not going to. We all agree on that. Rhea's mommy, blah, 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 blah. But like, she built up Rhea, even though she threw in the fact that Rhea didn't main event WrestleMania like Becky did, dropped that on there. And I know that hurt some feelings next to me. All of this shit was great. I agree with you. I listened to Get You when I was listening to them. Like, it wasn't Rhea. It wasn't so much Becky doesn't have confidence in herself anymore. It's she's acknowledging how great Rhea is, that despite the fact that everything happened with Nia Jax, she's not 100% sure that she can do it. But that's more telling of how great Rhea's been and less about where Becky's confidence is. I agree with everything you said, and then you had to say that fucking Cody Rhodes shit and ruin it. So just leave it be and don't ruin it, Vince, because I want to be on the same page with you. And every time you've done that, you've just thrown one little thing, and it's like, fuck, I was with him, and then he said that. So don't do it.
Because
yes, Katie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Vince.
No,
ruin it?
Katie, go first.
You're gonna ruin it? Okay, Katie, go ahead.
Listen, I just have one thing to briefly say about all of this. I agree. Of course, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, beautiful kisses to both ladies. They're beautiful. I love them both. Becky has the audacity to throw in that fucking jab when we all know damn well Rhea and Charlotte should have fucking main evented, and it was taken from them. It's not her fault, Rebecca.
They had the best match of the year in 2023. In my opinion, to this day, I still think that's the best match I saw.
Oh, at least I won my main event. Fuck off. Yeah. Rude.
Did you have anything else to say, Vince, before I go to Katie?
No, we'll just drop it there. We'll leave it there.
I love when you make the right decision. Katie, spit or swallow.
Fuck up.
Where do I want to go? Okay, I'm gonna go back to NXT because again, I feel like it's not getting a lot of love. tonight, which is okay. There's a lot happening. Trick Mellow Gang versus Anafe and Blade. TC said it best. Mello's gonna pull some hoe shit and cost Trick the fucking title at Vengeance Day, and I'm gonna be a sad, sad bitch that day, folks. Because, let me paint the scene real quick. Trick and Mello advance to the semifinals. And then, they're backstage. Dragunov comes back. He's like, listen, Trick, I'm sorry. They wouldn't clear me. I wanted to, but they were just like, just kidding. No, you're not allowed. So you deserve your shot at a big stage. Vengeance Day. Trick's like, fuck yeah, you got it, Holmes. Yeah, I'm in. Mello's like, bro, what the fuck? Finals, if we get there, that's Vengeance Day. Trick's like, no, don't worry, I got it. 2-belt Trick and all of this shit. I'll be the first, Grand Slam champion. Da 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 da. Like, he's just saying a bunch of stuff, and you can see it in Mello's face. And I know when we finally get the actual reveal that Mello did it, I'm gonna be sad because, I love them together. But it's just a lot happening right now. And I love the tag match. That actually happened.
Theoretically, wouldn't Mello and Trick both become the first Grand Slam champions at the same time if they won the tag titles? And actually, if they win the tag titles before Trick has his match, then it'll be Mello that's the first Grand Slam champion?
Exactly.
I think he was more so saying that he'll be again, my phrasing could be wrong, the first NXT talent to have the NXT title and the tag title at the same time.
Yeah.
And then Mello was like, the fuck? It's too much drama. I don't like it.
It's some straight up bullshit because Mello said, hey, let's go do this while we're waiting for you to get your title shot. And then when he gets his title shot, he's like, whoa, hey, but we got this tag. You know damn well what's more important. And that's getting an NXT championship match over
getting an AEW world title
championship match on NXT over the Dusty Cup.
Wild.
It is what it is.
I'm spitting Carmelo, man. I'm with everything that TC and Youngkins and Rick have been saying. It's bro, how are you gonna be out here so against your homie, getting to the main event spot, winning the NXT title, talking about let's put our
tag team business first and foremost. That should be our priority. When you go into business for yourself over on SmackDown, showing up 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, next week, it was bro, how you trying to come for Trick saying that he's being selfish when you out here being selfish and running off to another brand, I mean, and he's
Trick
probably going to be in the Rumble too.
Trick tweeted, "Hey, homie, if you need backup, call me." I'm just saying. Trick's a good homie.
I need Trick to whoop that Trick. That's and I can't wait till Melo.
No, that's gonna happen at Stand and Deliver, and I'm gonna see it. Man. I love it.
That's what I'm waiting for.
All right. So my next spit might sit not so well with some people, but I got agendas to push, and that's more important. I am spitting the fact that the tag team that I love, Disco Ninja Sex Party, defeated the tag team of the Unholy Union because I've got agendas to push, and that's that those two witches who have cursed the tag team titles that we talked about, that comes to fruition. And I need that to be a thing and not just something that we mentioned and then dropped. I need, we got the name. It's not Fire and Desire as I want it to be, but Unholy Union is a fucking fantastic name. Love it. And I need Alba and Isla with those women's tag team titles. I love Disco Ninja Sex Party. We love Disco Ninja Sex Party.
I have a question.
I need the Unholy Union holding the tag team titles. Them losing, spit. The fact that the Bukkake Warriors slid in and are going to bump them out of the way and get that match is a spit because I need the Unholy Union holding those belts.
I got a question primarily for Katie, but I also would like to get your opinion, Matt and Will. If they go the route at WrestleMania, whether Kabuki Warriors are champions going into it, or if it's Kaden Carter and Katana Chance,
as champions. How do you personally feel if they do another Fatal 4-Way or triple threat women's tag team title match at WrestleMania to get? Because I see the positives in terms of you get more teams in there, you get more women, more people, just wrestlers on the show in general, so they get a payday, a good payday. Or would you rather see just a traditional tag team match and not see the stereotypical multi-woman match at WrestleMania?
No, I want the multi-women tag match because if you like, I'd say now more than maybe previous years, we have like a lot of tag teams. So like it's, I mean, Unholy Union, which like also disrespected that like they lost so quickly to Disco Ninja Sex Party. Kind of fucking annoying. Disco Ninja Sex Party, Kabuki Warriors. I almost said what Matt says. Chelsea and Piper, The Way, Zoe and Shayna. Like, even they're not like out of them. Like, that's the team that doesn't have like, the least experience out of the teams I just said. But like having those teams, or even just some variation of those, fuck it, why not? I mean, showcasing that these teams are kind of holding it down for a division that has come and gone many a time since the titles were fucking introduced, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Like,
and yeah,
I would be so okay with a multi-woman match.
Okay.
That means I get to see more ladies. Come on now.
Because that's my stance. And I see a lot of people online, mostly, obviously, that makes a lot of sense. But they always complain, whether it's women wrestling fans or male wrestling fans. They're always like, oh, like they're just gonna put all the women in the multi-person match. They can't just have like this traditional singles or like a traditional tag. And I'd rather have like all the women than no women, and see the titles defended. But there's a lot of legit teams, and that's why I'm so okay with it, because you could do Shayna and Zoe, you can do Piper and Chelsea, you can do The Way, you can do Unholy Union, or Kabuki Warriors, or I'm not going to butcher it, but Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. There's so many people.
Disco Ninja Sex Party.
Disco Ninja Sex Party. I always get the order of it incorrectly, so I don't want to do...
As long as you have the words, it's fine.
Here's what I need. I need Kaden and Katana, kayfabe, because I don't want to see anyone really hurt, go down with an injury prior to WrestleMania, have to relinquish the titles, one of them, whatever.
Yeah.
You give me Alba and Isla, who will win at WrestleMania because they've cursed those belts. You give me Maxine and the little pit bull over there.
Yes.
Because I really enjoy that pairing. And props to Maxine for what she's been doing. You give me the Bukkake Warriors, and then give me a tag team from NXT that has to qualify. Maybe the tag team that wins the Dusty Cup, or I don't know, like do a female version of the Dusty Cup, but to come up and wrestle at WrestleMania for the tag team titles. I'd be down for that as well.
Oh yeah.
There are plenty of women's tag teams now available. I guarantee you, Natalia and
Tegan.
If this was a Saudi show, Natalia and Tegan
probably going to be in that match. So it is what it is.
Will, what about you, man? What do you think?
Don't disrespect her knees.
I had this down as a gargle undecidedly, because I do love Disco Ninja Sex Party. Undoubtedly my favorite tag team. I feel like when Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Team Firecrotch, when they came back on the scene, they went from being a very viable fan favorite to disappearing, and then bringing them back and expecting us to be like, oh shit, this is one of those things where I kind of forgot they existed, because like what Bakley was saying in the chat, They had been gone long enough, and I wasn't familiar with enough NXT during their run for me to go, oh shit, that's who that is right away. So I think the way Disco Ninja Sex Party has been presented, if you had flip-flopped either team, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn would be equally as over as Katana and Caden.
My whole issue with them is there's been a lot of stop and start with them. Like
Mhm.
they get called up as NXT tag team champions, lose them to Shayna and Ronda, unify those titles, disappear forever. Then there's more injuries, and then like especially with the one that happened with Sonya Deville, hopefully speedy recovery for her. And then they try to interweave that as part of the story. It's like, oh, it's almost like these titles are cursed. They said in one of their vignettes. Now, who would go and do something like that? Ever since then, I'm like, yes, they did the narrative that Katie's been talking about, Matt's talked about, and it's been mentioned on the show, both here and on She-Elite. Then they drop it. They don't do anything since then. Then they randomly show up, popping out of presents, like it's like a bachelorette party for Damage Control, or like right before Christmas, and disappear again. Then all of a sudden, now they have a tag match. Then all of a sudden, now it's for the titles. Then they get a really rushed match, and then they lose. And it's like, now what with them? Like, you could have really done something with them here. And the only way you make up, like, just losing that momentum is doing something that Matt alluded to, is have them keep putting a curse and kayfabe wise get an injury on one of Team Ninja Sex Party, and one of them gets injured kayfabe wise, and then now they're back in the running for those tag titles. Continue to put a curse until they finally get their way.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I'm afraid I've got some bad.
I don't know why that was on loop. We're gonna have to cut this off because we've got like 15 minutes left. We've still got a lot of wrestling to talk about. So, Will, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow from Dynamite the Luchador representation with Commander and Penta. And I know the Marks with Mikes, they got a lot of shit this week about the whole Penta and the Ray thing. Somebody save Penta and Ray from AEW. But one of the things I want to praise Koki Khan for is his ability to give luchadors a fair representation. There hasn't been a booker since Eric Bischoff in the 90s that gave them this kind of a spotlight on a major TV spot. So I'm going to give him, I like it. Even eating an L to Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. Beretta's got a super dope finisher. Even in eating an L, they still looked strong as the luchador representation on Dynamite. So I'm here for it.
And Penta facing Hangman next week.
I respectfully disagree. I both believe that Penta, for the longest, ever since he showed up in AEW, both him and his brother should be doing a lot more single stuff. Penta, if used correctly, can be in that TNT title picture, in that international championship title picture, and even in the AEW world title picture. He's a much more believable threat, even though he's not really used that much. But Penta's a lot more believable threat than Hook is. TNA, Impact at the time, put their world title on him. WWE has at least put their world titles on luchadors in the past. AEW has yet to do that. Granted, it's been, 5 years? But still, they never really do any good, like, story stuff aside from, like, just do some flippy shit in the match, and then they always usually take L's. So that's my complaint, though.
All fair. Then spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow the Final Testament vignette more so than the Bobby Lashley Almighty Prophets one. I loved it. It had essence of a little bit of what Bray was doing towards the end, and a little bit of Wyatt family essence as well, because you got the tag team, you got the leader, but you got a mouthpiece manager, and then you got fucking beautiful goddess in Scarlet. Love it. You can see the inspiration he took from Wyndham, Karen Cross, that is. I'm very excited about this faction. And that's the first time I've ever said I've been excited about anything Carry Cross related that wasn't adjacent because of Scarlett being right next to him. So I love the presentation. I love what they're doing. More.
I really enjoy what they've been doing. We've been talking about it. This is right up my alley. This is right in my wheelhouse. This is all good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow the battle royal on NXT for the Lotties, specifically for all of the stories we got in the fucking battle royal. Lola turning on Elektra, finally. Two of them who had a tag match earlier in the night lost, and then Lola eliminates Elektra and they start beefing, and it's great. Carmen protecting JC Jane, Ariana Grace just being Ariana Grace and getting one elimination and then getting her ass beat. Just like everything they did in this battle royal was so good, and it was so like storyline heavy and like was promoting different things. It kind of makes you think Cora might have been slotted to win this had she not been injured. We'll never know, obviously, because we weren't there. It's, I don't know, because Roxanne won, but, like, Roxanne's still kind of a face, and Lyra's a face, so I don't...
Roxanne's transitioning.
She's pushing some buttons and some boundaries.
She's more aggressive and a little bit more of a quote-unquote loose cannon, you know?
No, that's a different guy. He doesn't...
No, he's not a loose cannon. He's a king.
And what Katie said, swallowing the idea that I'm getting Lyra versus Roxanne, swallowing the fact that Tatum stole Lyra's gear and then dressed up like her.
That shit was funny.
Tatum Paxley. Whew.
It's amazing.
Been there, done that, talked about that. Yeah. Also, Ariana Grace's speech prior to the Battle Royal in the locker room that everyone left during. That's Ariana Grace.
I gotta go back and watch NXT.
All the other fun shit going on in that Women's Battle Royal. Absolutely loved it.
She's so funny.
I'm spitting the Angry Jacksons berating Renee.
Dude.
Punk.
What the fuck was that?
And then the fact that they're saying that they're going to take out their issues that they had with CM Punk on Sting without saying
was
CM
the
Punk.
Complete opposite.
Because, like, you don't, like, I don't care if you're a heel, face, what, you don't treat Renee like that. I don't care who the fuck you are.
No, you do not.
Renee's a national treasure. Leave that poor woman alone.
Actual.
Not just in Canada.
CM Punk
globally.
shit, I expect it from them. It is what it is. As I wear a CM Punk shirt, doesn't really bother me, but like also petty as fuck and a little kind of lame.
They're just
and be like
playing into it.
We're taking it out on Sting because CM Punk's not here, and basically blaming the whole downfall of AEW on CM Punk when actually the highest ratings they ever had was when he was there. Neither here nor there.
Why is Sting catching a stray from this shit though? Like, Sting is the most non-problematic member of that AEW locker room. What the?
I mean,
fuck?
they kind of just like alluded to in their promo. They were just like Sting isn't one of those things. Like, he's a model employee and this, that, and whatever. But Sting out here just catching strays.
It didn't make sense to me, the motivation. They needed to explain that. Also, did anyone else see?
He's part of that old guard. He is representative of everything they feel is wrong. I would have gone with Jericho as that problem.
I definitely would have, but that's just me.
Neither here nor there. You also got Christian, you got Edge. Apparently, they're going to go after all these guys. Anyone from a bigger company that came in, blah, 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 that doesn't represent what they wanted AEW to be.
So it's an inferiority complex. So they feel inferior to these bigger names there, and they feel threatened by that. Got it. I saw people making reference that the reason they got the mustaches because they're doing a parody of Mustache Fins. So I don't know. I'm not feeling them, man. I'm not feeling the Young Bucks, and I used to love the Young Bucks. I got an autographed signed Funko Pops from the Young Bucks. I got like a lot of like Bullet Club stuff and Young Buck merch. I got pictures with them. They were fantastic to my little sister when she met them. I used to love him so much, and it's just like, don't you just hate it when like something or some people that you used to love, all of a sudden you just can't stand to even watch? Like whatever they're doing, I just click next channel.
Will, you look like you want to say something.
I made a TikTok about it, and I said they reminded me of Spy versus Spy.
Yeah,
And
I saw it.
Bizarro South Park with when Eric Cartman got the goatee because he was like a bad guy now. That's kind of what they reminded me of. I do love Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Like choosing to go by their God-given names.
Which, it's not even their real last name. It's like you're still not going by your God-given name.
The fact they're leaning into the whole we're executive vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling, it's time we start acting like it. Like all of that stuff, like I kind of love them leaning into the shit they were getting crap for. Like the whole we're not professional. So now they're going to, it's like the equivalent of killing somebody with kindness. Like if you know somebody doesn't like you, you continue to be overly nice to them to piss them off. That's like what Matt and Nick Jackson are doing now. People are talking shit. They don't want to be professional and they blah, blah, blah. They should. So now they're like, no, we're going to be the most professional, just straight to it motherfuckers on the planet. And I low-key kind of like it.
I'd argue it's not professional to talk about a backstage incident that you signed NDAs for and be passive aggressive about it, but that's neither here nor there.
Speaking of neither here nor there, last round for everybody. Everyone hit your biggest ones on your list, and then we'll close the show out. Starting with Mr. Will Gray, spit or swallow.
I'm going to spit my last thing from Dynamite. I watched a ton of AEW this week. And I'm going to spit Top Flight versus Private Party. Okay.
That's the biggest thing on your notes is Top Flight versus Private Party.
You guys went through a bunch, but there's a reason why I'm spitting this match. Not that I have anything against either of those. This was the quintessential example of what a Rampage match should be. And if they had taken this off, this could have been a spot for another women's match. This could have been a spot to help build another story anywhere else on their programming. And instead, we got two really great tag teams that would have done this match just the same for roughly the same amount of viewers on Rampage. I feel like this was wasted TV time that could have been given to other talent. So I spit that match for this reason.
I'm with
Bold
you.
of you to be another women's match. Bold.
I was really hoping that you were going to talk about the finish between Seth and Jinder and how Seth took a briefcase and a finisher and kicked out and how that pissed you off as much as Hook kicking out of the Muscle Buster. But instead we got Top Flight versus Private Party. And that's kind of a bummer.
Well, right now that's Super Seth.
I don't even what's a Jinder? Who the fuck is Jinder?
Oh,
Sir.
I had one written down, and boy, man, oh my god, the people in the peanut gallery were like, "Will, you won't do it," and I was like, I wrote it down, but I decided to out of respect for you, and that was they wanted me to swallow on this show Lord Voldemort versus Jacob Fatu, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. Matt will kick me off the show.
Vince, spit or swallow.
I want to talk about what you mentioned, but you said the biggest load. So I'm going to gargle the way we got to making the Fatal 4-Way match at Royal Rumble for the WWE Undisputed Unified Championship, where they start off with the contract signing. The first three members to get in the ring, sign the contract, do their shtick. Paul Heyman comes out and says, nah, we're not going to do any of that. It's supposed to be a singles match. We ain't going to do this shit. Nick Aldis threatening to vacate the title and make it a triple threat match to crown a new champion. Still more backstage stuff. It leads to other stuff, other matches, I should say, between AJ Styles, LA Knight. We already had the scheduled Randy versus Solo. Solo's trying to take out everyone else, interferes in the LA Knights AJ Styles match, calls out Randy Orton. He's trying to do what he's got to do for the tribal chief. But I'm spitting the fact that once Roman came in and they laid out almost every member in that official Fatal 4-Way match now, he went ahead and got that contract because he asked for the contract from Nick Aldis. He signed it and then dropped it to Nick Aldis. Why did you change your mind? Like, unless they specify that next week they specify that Nick Aldis went into Roman Reigns' locker room, because we did see him outside of Roman Reigns' locker room before AJ Styles interrupted him, and they had a conversation and kind of made it so that Roman's like, all right, fine, you're forcing me to do this, but fuck you, big middle finger, I'm going to lay out everyone in this match and make sure they're not 100%. I need a reason why all of a sudden Roman's now cool with it and just signed it.
Maybe because Nick Aldis said, fine, if Roman doesn't defend it, I'm going to make him vacate the title and we're going to have a triple threat match for the title.
I don't know. Like, it has to be like emphasized and unpacked a little bit more for me. But I mean, it's nitpicking though. I was gonna say that was all the justification I needed. Was he's like, I'm just gonna strip Roman to the title. So Roman's like, fuck it, now I have to do it. Even though Paul said he'd never get. Paul came out and was like, oh, you'll never let that fly. Blah blah blah. Paul is just bullshitting his way to bullshit his way.
Mm-hmm.
I was all about it. I'm all about having a GM with some motherfucking balls.
I love
and
Nick
Aldis has got
so
some
much.
motherfucking balls.
It's a beautiful man right there.
Shout out Mickey James. You got a good one.
Mickey James is one lucky fucking lady.
Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm torn between two because I think you'll talk about the one.
Talk about the one you don't think we'll talk about.
Okay. Fuck it. I'm swallowing, even though it was brief, I'm swallowing the Jay Briscoe tribute on Dynamite. A, gets me every fucking time. B, it like Mark Briscoe like got time on the actual anniversary, which is always a beautiful thing. And Jay's daughter, Mark's niece, who was told will never walk again, walked out on stage. That was one of the most heartwarming things I think I've ever seen in my entire fucking life in wrestling in the past 20 years. Off the top of my head, and like that, especially with a child involved. Oh my god, I was a mess. I was not okay, but it was beautiful, and I'm glad that they. So one thing like Tony Khan will still do, like we'll still get Brody Lee tributes in some way, shape, or form, and we are getting Jay Briscoe tributes as of right now, a year removed. So like, I'll give Tony Khan his flowers there. Even though it was a small little section, it did its job and it was needed.
A broken clock does the right thing or tells the correct time twice a day. Tony Khan sometimes does the right thing once in a while.
Vince gets he gets it right every once in a while.
That was a C+ in you got there barely. It was rough, but you got there. A broken clock is right twice a day.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
This makes it really hard for me because, like, Drew interrupted our MLK Day speech from Cody, which pissed me off.
True.
Gunther declared for the Royal Rumble and had his whole thing with Woods. We didn't talk about that.
True.
Obafemi came out like a member of the Jabari in Wakanda, and everyone
feminist over here
had his stuff with Dragon Lee. Baron Corbin said wolf dogs, or I'm sorry, Rob Baker said wolf dogs, and I wanted to spit just because of that. I had to agree with Corbin, so that's a spit.
Swallowing that Braun Breaker was thinking about Baron Corbin in the shower.
Exactly, like that was. I was like, there's so much stuff we didn't even get to cover, but I have to make my last swallow. We got Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay with Tony Storm on commentary. Tony had Virtue. She said I had Virtuosa once, but I won't tell you who I got it from or when. Deonna Deanna gets interviewed after, tells Tony that they both changed. She may have been friends with Deanna, but she's never met the best technical women's wrestler in the world. Tony called her technically an artificially tanned hag and said she wanted to sock her, not suck.
I heard I will.
It was not suck. You just can't hear.
I heard suck you right in the box.
No.
That's what I heard.
Suck.
And I told Matt.
Listen, whether she's socking her in the box or sucking her in the box, it involves Tony's box, and Tony's box always gets a swallow on the Smackin It Raw podcast. Tony's box is going in my title. Actually, Deanna's box also gets a swallow.
That's what I was going to say.
Mariah May, like Tony's on Luther's shoulders and she does the tits out, watch for the shoe, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. Mariah May throws it. Deanna grabs it, throws it back. They had a whole thing about whether or not Mariah May should play baseball on Twitter after the fact. Huge swallow because Tony's my favorite thing in fucking AEW, hands down, period.
See, I knew you were going to talk about it. That's why I saved it. Because I was like, no, Matt will talk about this. He loves Tony Storm. And as Tony calls her, Deanna Palazzo. Like, everything Tony's doing with this fucking character is just so good. I love it. And like, saying she's going to sock her in the box. And like, Deanna and Renee breaking in the ring because they're like, does this bitch just fucking say that? And people not knowing that box is a euphemism for vagina is the funniest thing in the whole world.
It is. Speaking of wolf dogs and thinking about other men in the shower, a man that I frequently watch when I'm in the shower, the Will Gray. What was the favorite show you watched this week?
I would 100% say that my favorite show this week was, I would say, Dynamite by the amount of notes that I have. I'd feel like I probably paid the most attention and probably watched the most of those 2 hours.
All right. Vince, your favorite show?
I only watched 2 shows between Raw and SmackDown, but I'm going to go with Raw because Judgment Day tag match. R-Truth is funny as fuck. Make it rain in the ring. Boy, I love it. Main event, don't hinder gender, even though Seth hindered gender. Shout out to Seth. Super Seth. Get well soon. Drew interrupting them on Case Day speech from Cody. Loved it. Next week, CM Punk, Cody. Everything was teased. Loved it. Raw. I love it, Raw.
Katie?
I'm torn between NXT because I got like all of my women and Dynamite because Hook versus Joe and Deanna and Anna. So, Hooker's Rise. We're going Dynamite.
So I'll go NXT.
Fair.
We'll even it out.
Fair.
We got 2 votes Dynamite, 1 vote Raw, and the only vote that matters NXT.
Well.
Mr. Gray, when you're not in the shower or when I'm not thinking about you in the shower, where can they find you?
First and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be the honorary Oos of Creation World. If you want to find my shenanigans elsewhere, you can check my link tree at The Will Gray. Find everything I do for Botch Bots and Share Shots, Off the Top Media, Creation World, and my writing profile for Last Word on Sports.
Katie, plug yourself for the listeners.
Yeah, while you eat your snacks. You can follow me on Twitter at GatorWrestling13. Link to my about to all things She Leads Showcase. Oh, that's what he was eating. Okay. Raw Things She Leads Showcase. Twitch.tv/She Leads Showcase. YouTube.com/She Leads Showcase. Typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going back to our roots this week. Upcoming episode, we're doing Royal Rumble predictions like we used to do back on Smacked Raw. So that's going to be a time. It's going to be very exciting. You can check out everything we do, all that stuff. And Inside the Mind of is actually fucking coming back. I mean it this time. It is set in stone. It's on a Google Calendar and everything.
Vince?
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SESVince. Link tree in my bio takes you to all the content that I archived and then still have out there. But most importantly, follow, subscribe, like, bell notifications, my YouTube, youtube.com/SESVince.
And as I eat pretzels flavored as the greatest Girl Scout cookie flavor, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ridders, MATTRIDDR, or at Getting Off for your horror content, Matt Ritter for your wrestling content, and everywhere else you want to follow me. You guys can follow me at Smackin It Raw, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or Blue Sky, not Sky Blue. I just wish you could. For Miss Katie Kinzy Bay, the Pornhub Poppy Daddy Delgado, my friend Vince, who I didn't even introduce because he showed up late, and the Will Gray. I'm the patron saint of podcast and Warden Matter, and this has been your #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. Vince, this is where you play the thing.
I didn't play the
thing.
thing.
I got it. One job.
One fucking job.
You've been doing everything the last 2 weeks. Now I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't even play the outro last week. You played it. So I'm like, Matt is doing everything. What the fuck am I doing here except for like keeping everyone company and just being a pretty face? You know?
I do. So for you two, I do want to know, because you guys did not like Hook, and I wanted to have this debate, but we just ran way too long. Since you guys didn't like Hook kicking out of the Muscle Buster, honestly, how did you feel about Seth Rollins taking a briefcase shot to the face and a Colossus kicking out?
I'm spinning that too. Because, okay, it's okay. You did the briefcase thing, you did the Colossus thing. It's not as big because it's not like kicking out of Triple H's pedigree. It's Jinder Mahal's Colossus. And it's
a finisher's a finisher and should be protected. That's what was established.
Exactly.
According to The Undertaker, you always protect your finish no matter how shitty it is. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Listen, yes, correct. Like I said, like it's the point I was making is that it's lesser than the Muscle Buster, but still, I didn't personally like that. Boom, boom. It got a nice like false finish pop from everyone. I jumped out of my seat. I thought Jinder had won the title there. But to be fair, I've been very critical of Seth Rollins being Super Seth in this world title run and beating guys that first it was Finn, then it was Shinsuke, then it was Drew. I didn't care as much. That one's whatever. And then now there's Jinder, and it's like 3 out of the 4 world championship contenders, legit contenders that you've had. I'd rather have them be champion because I think that'd be much more interesting than Seth being champion. Love Seth. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I think he's probably the best wrestler on the planet in ring wise. He has a great catchy song, great funny character. He's one of the reasons why Melissa's so into and interested in wrestling. But I've never been a big, Seth Rollins guy. It's kind of like, I don't even know. He's the orange Starburst in my Starburst bag. They're the last ones I get. They're really good, But I get the cherry or strawberry one before I get to the orange or Starburst. Some people, I have a former coworker and many friends say that the orange Starburst is the best.
Just the best. That's why.
I agree and I disagree. I don't think Finn would be any more entertaining than Seth Rollins as champion. I am a huge Seth Rollins fan. I wanted Shinsuke to beat Seth just because it's kind of like with Cody. I need Cody to win that championship because the Rhodes family has never done it, and I want to see that fulfilled. I want to see someone in the Rhodes family hold up that WWE championship after everything Dusty and Dustin and Cody have done in professional wrestling. I need that moment. Shinsuke has been kept away from that main event, holding that main event championship. He won the Rumble. He lost all of these things. I want to see him get it just for everything that Shinsuke has accomplished, for that validation in his WWE run to say he was there, because I think in my opinion, he's earned it.
Yes.
You know, he deserves it. He's earned it. I don't think Finn would be more entertaining than Seth Rollins. I love Finn Balor to death. In the ring, he's fantastic. Personality-wise, Finn is boring as shit. Even in the Judgment Day doing the wannabe gangster bullshit, Finn is boring as shit. Finn is one of the best wrestlers on the roster and the most boring member of the Judgment Day, and JD McDonough's in that fucking group.
I think the most interesting character-wise he's been was when he returned to NXT, and he was more of the Prince Finn Balor, and that didn't carry over to main roster when he came back, because he kind of went back to main roster Finn with a little mix of that Prince Balor that he did in his second NXT run. The most interesting.
He also fucked up the whole demon thing, and they haven't used it right on the main roster, and that has not helped because
you know why? Because he fucking lost to he lost in Hell in a Cell to Edge, a guy that was out the fucking door for what? Why did Edge need to win that match?
No, they fucked up the demon way before that. Do we not recall Roman and the gyrating on the floor?
Or when the demon fell off the top rope and we never got an answer as to how that happened?
Yeah.
That too.
They fucked the demon up on the main roster big time and ruined Finn Balor in that aspect because that was a huge part of who the fuck Finn Balor was and why a lot of people fell in love with him if you weren't watching him in New Japan.
Yeah, if you didn't knew him in New Japan, you loved him because of the demon character persona that he would only bust out at takeovers. And honestly, if he just did that for main roster pay-per-views, like the big four, like you'd be able to keep it more consistent and more of a spectacle, you know, and actually
like
make it mean something.
Weird comparison, but the demon Finn Balor is kind of like Orange Cassidy should be, where Orange Cassidy does his shtick until he gets an opponent where he really needs to show that he can wrestle. And we've gotten away from that. And what made me enjoy Orange Cassidy, I don't see Orange Cassidy hanging out in bathrooms as matches are happening anymore, just doing his thing on the sideline.
Like he does.
He's wrestling so much more as a regular wrestler, and that doesn't have the appeal of a guy who's so fucking good at wrestling that he doesn't have to wrestle until somebody as good or better than him pushes him.
I'll make a perfect analogy. I'll make a perfect analogy, and I'm sorry.
Wasn't done, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
With Finn Balor, the appeal was that he would get pushed by guys to where he had to bring the demon out for the guys that he could not beat. So again, having those big feuds with guys where he's trying and then he keeps losing, and then he goes and he gets the demon. That would have been fantastic, and they ruined that. Dr.
100%.
Papalito, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
My analogy that I was going to make, it was in reference to Orange Cassidy. The thing that was so great about him, it was kind of like a DBZ character. Like he's so like when the DBZ character, either good guy or villain, when they're so good, they're not even trying. They're like just dodging like attacks. They're like not barely moving. They're like defending with their finger or whatever. That's who Orange Cassidy was, because like they were nonchalant about it, and when they actually went out there and started trying, it's because they met someone that was challenging them and making them have to go to that next level. Right now, Orange Cassidy is just a really cool looking dude that wears a backpack and has like jeans and like Canadian tuxedo and sticks his thumb up from time to time.
He had to try too much, and I didn't like that.
I don't know.
You look like you want to say something, Will.
No, not particularly. Wow, that's shocking.
He did not want to hear what you had to say. He did
not
give
at
a fuck.
all.
Crazy. Well, it's messed up. We'll listen to you.
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm real tired and real stoned, and Vince disappearing brain farted. What was the last thing you said?
We were talking about Orange Cassidy and the demon Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm back. I think that the demon lost all of its credibility when they made him eat like 2 or 3 L's in a row.
Yep.
Like it's hard to make something a spectacle and make it mean something and make it be a big deal when you bring it out for a big deal to lose.
Yep.
So that's probably 2 cents really on the whole thing. Like you can't make it. That was like Bray Wyatt, RIP, like towards the end of the run with like the Randy Orton at WrestleMania stuff, like where it was just a lot of really just dead ass stop. And it was like, what the fuck was that for? You know, like,
Oh, wow. The conversations I
The
remember having about that.
two things in WWE that I hate more than anything in the world
I don't know.
is Brock Lesnar defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 and ending the streak, because I still maintain that Brock didn't need it. That there were
Sure.
other guys we could have given it to that could have really ran with that. And the fact that we went through an entire year of Bray Wyatt creating the Fiend as a character to redeem all of the bad things that were done to him, only to end with him still losing to Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Deep breaths, Matt. Deep breaths.
And then never getting a payoff because he got fired and it just...
Yeah. Sprinkled out of control.
Unfortunately, the terrible thing that happened after that.
Yes.
Sorry.
However, he will always have a place right here on my mic.
3 different versions of him.
And they all showed up tonight. We had unfortunately from that Crispy Fiend gyrating,
Literally private party dancing.
Bray popped up.
Which I don't know if they noticed it, but like I did.
I noticed it. I'm gonna sign off. I went to go check on my fiance, and she invited me to watch Big Bang Theory while we eat Oreos. So I'm gonna go eat Oreos and watch Big Bang Theory before I call it a night. Will, I love you. I came onto the show wanting to do it, and then I found out you were on it, and I wanted to be on it even that much more.
Just to
Katie.
make sure that they didn't tie you in the Pornhub population.
No, I don't get enough opportunities to hang out with Will, so I take him as much as I can.
You mean like last week?
Yeah, like literally.
Exactly. Once I knew Will was there, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing it for sure."
you
There's
can
no
take
race,
me
though.
whenever you want.
There's no race, by the way. Matt, Katie, I'll see you guys next week if I make it home in time from my siblings from Rumble.
If I get this sanctioned by Reek, is there a race since it was Reek?
No, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. I'm Pornhub Poppy until I don't.
Okay, Obafemi.
We have to page the doctor.
There's no more open challenges. I'll decide who the fuck I defend against when I want to. Dragon Lee can suck my dick.
There you go. So I'm just gonna go with Bang Bang Signature Gang, and I'm gonna look for a picture that whatever you guys recommend. I'm thinking R-Truth dropping the money in the ring with Finn and Damian Priest.
Well, let's take a real quick vote before Vince goes. The 2 options that I have for titles are Bang Bang Scissor Gang or Deanna's box gets socked.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
I have 3 options. One was Mommy Slayer that
never talked about it, so
acknowledge my guy or whatever, that fucking sign in the background with Nick Aldis. That shit was funny to me. And suck you right in that box. So those were my options.
Looks like it's Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Okay.
The good doctor here says the last WrestleMania he watched was WrestleMania 23. We're at WrestleMania 40, bro. And now's Katie was there. Now is a great time to jump back in if you're going to. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
Bye,
come
Vince.
check out. Come watch WrestleMania 40 this year. Tune in for the Royal Rumble next weekend and get there on the road to WrestleMania 40 so you know what the fuck's going on.
I'll be in the building.
Smackin It Raw every week. Will be in the building for Royal Rumble. Or you just tune in here every week and we'll tell you what's going on. We'll keep you up to date leading up to WrestleMania 40. I will be in Tennessee in Will's house, eating Will's food, watching WrestleMania 40. And I'm excited about it.
I'll be in Philly at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Listen, having Will's meat in my mouth for WrestleMania is only secondary to actually getting to go.
And I make really good barbecue. I'm also gonna tap out. I have a super early morning tomorrow. Adult things. So
And we got you tomorrow night for getting off, so you'll be back.
I'll be around. Oh yeah. Good joke. That's what he said.
No, it's just the way you said it.
Good joke.
Really?
Dr. Papalito.
Yeah,
that's a good name.
Because I talked about having your meat in my mouth. That's what he's talking about.
It's a good joke. It is a good joke. It's topical. All right. I'll see you both tomorrow.
I will.
Bye.
I will. Jesus.
Yeah, see? I knew what he meant. I was with him.
I understood.
That's why I said it.
That's why I said it.
I don't know why, but this last 2 weeks, I cannot get through all of my spits or swallows. It has been a struggle.
Well, it's because you got people who just talk and talk and talk about there's. I try and keep it as brief as possible, unless I got like something like really I gotta talk about.
Yeah, I feel like if I have Will and Vince on the same show again, I just need to let them do their spits or swallows and let them go
we'll
back
just
and forth.
we'll just hang out.
Well, we appreciate your service. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, so we're the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, and we spit and swallow the week in wrestling every single week at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern. If you want to tune in next week, we will be here.
I'm curious.
Will's like walking upstairs, and she's like, "You're still on the show."
Yeah, like
what
I'm
are
so
you doing?
curious how bad the delay is.
Yeah, now you know how I feel when I'm trying to answer questions in the Boss Bitch Trivia Hour, and people are dropping answers 3 questions before it gets asked.
Will came out of the room and he was still talking on my screen. Yeah, that's quite
We
a bit.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Very much appreciated. We will be live tomorrow. If you're a horror movie fan, we're talking See No Evil and See No Evil 2. If we're getting off, we'll be here live tomorrow at 11 as well. I think Katie and I are going to start banging out some WWE horror films produced by WWE.
Yeah, we have to like figure out what all they've
where we
actually
can
done.
find them, and
you know,
like I've got Oculus, so like we can knock that out. Like that's easy.
Good. Okay.
Well, I think we're going to need at least 2. So 2 a show.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need 2 a show. And I have a full ass post-it note of stuff to talk about for news and rumors.
Look at you.
Well, you got to think, like, I have to get, like, 2 weeks worth of stuff that kind of happens and, like, piques our interest in something. Because I'm not doing, like, everything that I see horror-related. I'm doing stuff that, like, kind of interests me, and I know will interest you.
Does Travis have the schedule up for next week yet? No.
No, because he hasn't even asked me yet.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I started putting stuff in the doc for Monday that I want to talk about because, like, inside baseball, Travis had like a little meeting, but not really. Like, he just recorded himself and then sent it to us in the Slack. And he said he didn't want us to load the show with a bunch of news. He wanted it to be about the conversations, which I've always said, like, I want to talk about things that I can have a conversation about that I'm interested in. Like, I don't care how big of a news item it is. If it's not something that interests me and I don't really have anything to say about it, yeah, I can bring it up and blah, blah, blah. But like, so I've been trying to load up a bunch of stuff that I can do on the days that I'm hosting the Creation Conversation that I'm going to be able to more than just like talk about, or just whatever. Like, because sometimes we'll grab trailers and watch them and be like, oh, okay, that was a trailer. Cool. Next one.
Like how we felt about Saltburn originally. And then I watched Saltburn and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
If you do, please let me know.
I'll talk to Kate. Maybe we'll watch it tomorrow.
Please. It's you're listen, I don't even remember the trailer, but I just remember the trailer being like just kind of all over the place, and we were like, what the fuck even is this? You're not really gonna like see it coming. and I think you're gonna love it and hate it at the same time.
Okay.
Like my friend has watched it 10 times.
Holy shit.
She loves it. She made me watch it. She made our one friend watch it. Like she made me watch it New Year's Eve weekend because I was over, and she's like, "Watch this." And I was like, "Fuck, okay." I told myself I was never gonna watch this movie. Here we are. And then she made our friend who was also staying over. He came over the next night. She made him watch it, and I caught like the second half of it because I had to be at work, and it was fucking stupid. So like she has consistently watched it. She loves it.
I almost sat down and watched Euphoria because I've ran out of things to watch, but I instead went and started rewatching True Blood. So I did that.
But like, watch Euphoria.
I mean, listen, I'm only interested because Sydney Sweeney's titties. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean, fair. That was a pleasant surprise when I watched it for the first time. I was like, "Let's go." Okay. I was like,
that's
I was
really the
mainly
only
in
reason
for
I'm like,
Zendaya.
let me throw it in. Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that.
Listen.
That's
Visuals are good. Titties, drugs. Come on.
I was sitting there and I was looking at stuff because like I had finished Echo and I had finished a bunch of stuff and there was nothing new that I really wanted to watch. And I saw Euphoria and then I also thought True Blood. And like I settled on True Blood because I haven't rewatched True Blood in a long time. And I didn't rewatch Dexter, but I watched the newest season of Dexter because it's on Paramount, Dexter New Blood.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I kind of got like that nostalgic, like because Dexter and that was all going on at the same time for me.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, and then I was like, let me listen. It's another one of those shows that came out heavy with the sex and the titties and shit, and then like cut back on it as the seasons went on,
and then you got
and
sad.
it loses a little bit of its luster once you find out what Sookie is and all that. But like, I really did enjoy True Blood, so I was like, let me get back on season 1, and right off the bat, it is sex. I just got done with the episode where Jason takes V, but he drinks like the whole vial because he was in a cop car, and then he's got like a hard on that he can't get rid of, and they say his dick literally looks like an eggplant, and they have to drain it with a needle. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
The vampire blood's kind of like supercharged Viagra. You're only supposed to take like a couple drops, and he drank like a whole vial of it, and then was trying to get rid of it and beat it so bad that it swelled up, and he had calluses on his hands, like bad.
Oh my god!
And it wouldn't go away, and he was freaking out.
Jesus.
True Blood's worth a watch. It's a good watch.
I've heard it was good. I never, because what was that on?
That was on Max. HBO
like,
Max.
When it was on like on TV.
Yeah, it was on HBO.
Okay. Because like I think I remember like scrolling past it a few times and it was just like, I don't know. I never like watched it. I heard really good things about it. I never to this day haven't watched it, but
I've rewatched Sopranos a couple times. There are some shows. Dexter, I think I watched twice through. Once, and then I did a rewatch a few years ago.
My sister loves Dexter.
Dexter's fantastic.
They went as
you would really like Dexter.
I know I would because yeah. Look at that. My sister and her fiance went as Dexter and Rita, I think, for Halloween this year. She loves Dexter.
It's good shit. Zoe wanted to watch Dexter at 3. She didn't know what she was talking about, but she just pointed at it. She goes, I want to watch this.
See, everything that I saw on that screen, I was like, ooh, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Well, our friend Jess commented, and she goes, maybe start her with Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I've actually watched episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark with Zoe, as well as old episodes of Goosebumps and stuff.
Okay.
So, like, that's a thing.
Are You Afraid of the Dark has some of the creepiest shit I've ever seen as an adult. Like, Canadian children should not have been watching that show.
See, I mean, all of Dexter is really good. I will say, once they came back and they did the New Blood, that last season, it kind of makes up for the ending of Dexter. And I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed like revisiting Dexter all these years later with a whole new season. And in the current timeline, which was cool. So like that new season, Dexter New Blood, though, the one-off season as like a finale to everything Dexter was good and cool. And it feels very much like Dexter. And a lot of people weren't happy with the way the original series ended. So that kind of, for me anyway, helped out.
Fair. I mean, I feel like that happens with a lot of shows that people love. Like they're so gung-ho about it and they love everything about it. And then the final season happens. Game of Thrones, biggest thing I can think of. People were pissed at that last season.
Mara still hates it.
I never watched Game of Thrones still to this day. I only watched when you guys did Dem Dragons just to hear you guys talk about stuff, and I was very confused, and I had it on as background noise while I did other stuff because I'm a good friend and I support always if I can. But like some of the shit you guys are saying, I was like, what the fuck even like is these shows? Like I don't even understand. That's what I hear. I think it got voted like the worst last season of a show or something.
You know, Arya was great. Doctor, I want to thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna have to end it here. I've got to get up tomorrow and record a podcast for the Patreon and then hang out with the family all day and then come back and do this for getting off. And Zoe's going to be up at the crack acid dawn in my room. So I got to hurry up and get to sleep. So I get a few hours of sleep before that happens. But dude, thank you so much for coming in at the end and hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Katie, as always, thank you for joining me and doing this, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.